Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
I'm not gonna try and win hearts and minds, pretend I'm something I'm not. Hey, like a video game. No, it's bullshit. Not real.
Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso.
You gotta watch it. You gotta hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on, everyone who's watching this
video
needs to
that.
go over
Don't say it like that.
And share the video. We gotta keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it. Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Like, I want to dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
I will twerk on her on the bed. I ain't going to do it in the middle of the dance floor.
That's what I'm... Yeah, whatever.
That's all right.
Why? My brain didn't need that. I'd already seen too many pictures of Shooty-Gatwa today.
What?
Well, there's an image in my mind. Stop touching my penis. Stop doing that. I did not consent to this type of touching. Stop it. It's wrong.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
There was high top fade Dre. There's been so many over the years. Cornrows, all of them.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul go, baby. Feeling oh so silky smooth.
Please, sir, can I have some darkies?
You know what? There is a single reason why I wouldn't want to become a merman. I wouldn't have my penis anymore.
This is why I do crystal meth. The Legend of Korra took a diarrhea in my mouth and then told me to chew it, swallow it, vomit it, and then eat it again.
I'm retarded.
What? What? What?
Ooh, so exciting.
Let me do it myself here. Let me get it up real quick. Hey, shut up. Shut up. I didn't mean it like that, you perverts. But we don't want Revan touched. No.
Agreed.
You don't want anything good touched.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because Disney Star Wars is a bad touch.
It is a bad touch.
Touches you in the bad place.
It's a bad touch.
Show me on the doll where Disney Star Wars touched you.
I need a bigger doll.
Oh, God.
There's no doll left.
This is Harlem, baby, and we doing nothing but blackity blackities. I'm like, listen, sir, can we just have a superhero show?
The cops are on my back, Luke. You gotta get these blue folks up off me, dog.
I'm like, bruh, how much more of this I gotta want?
And I gotta say, any person who uses a Funko Pop or gets a Funko Pop immediately disqualifies themselves from any fan discussion.
Unless you're getting it for a mocking reason to make fun of something.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Or if it's a gift from someone.
Both of y'all suck. I hate you both.
If it's a gift from someone who doesn't know better, that's fine. I have a couple of those. But if you're going out collecting Funko Pops,
no, you're retarded. Funko Pops are awesome. I hate myself. I have a problem.
I've got loads of them.
You're a girl. You're allowed to do it. You're a girl.
It's okay for girls. Yeah, they're exempt. Dre, this is not okay. We need to have an intervention.
I have a problem. I've got no shame.
There is nobody of merit there. It's for their new fan base. That's who D23 is for. Everybody who went there knowing they sniff crotch and suck shit. And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the round table, where we are always in search of quality, even though we may not be providing said quality. We do our best around here. We have survived many things this week, and we are here to entertain you and give you our thoughts on what is going to, I believe, be an interesting week next week. It's going to be filled with loads of stuff. But before that, hi, Jed. You survived a Ballbusters gaming stream last night. How you doing?
I did survive that. It was quite difficult. The amount of retardation, mental illness, and pure gayness that emanates from those streams. Well, it was like dodging crackheads in Harlem. It was not easy to not get touched by that stuff that Dermy's goo.
There was a goo joke going around last night. And maybe that was from the night before. No, that was from the night before, the goo joke. Anyway, listen. It's an experience.
It was.
We had up to 14 people last night in Among Us. It was nuts. It was nuts at one point. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. I took on the role of the one who causes chaos by just randomly accusing people with very little evidence whatsoever. I got a lot of people thrown off who were innocent because someone had to do it. And I admit last night was not one of my better showings as a player. I got murdered a lot. Ginger over here murdered me plenty of times.
I don't think I murdered you once.
At least twice. You murdered me twice.
I avoided you. I kept framing you. I was shape-shifting into you and killing people.
You son of a bitch. All I don't know, I watched you when I was following you as a ghost. I watched you kill somebody and then self-report. I watched you do that.
Yeah. And it worked too. I got away with it.
It did. The best one was this. Last night, son of a bitch, Kel follows me down a hallway, kills me. And then here comes Professor Savage Dad down the hallway, doesn't see it. Kel self-reports and then says he found True Pop dead in another room. Not even reporting my body.
That was beautiful. I watched that happen as a ghost.
Listen, and I'm gonna give a lot of props to True Pop. I didn't know he was that vicious. That tiny little skinny Euro, he is a vicious son of a bitch. When he finally got to be the imposter, he was like me when I first became the imposter for the first time. He just went on a killing spree, aggressive. It's very aggressive, and he had it in for me because I threw him under the bus early on. And then he accused me when I was proven it. Here's the thing: I had 3 people see me be innocent because I was scanned. He's like, I think Adam did it, and he got all y'all to vote my dumb ass off. It's a fun game.
Kratos tried to pull the same thing with me. He's like, it was Jed. It's like, I was with Adam and Dermy the entire time up in the reactor. I could not have gotten there in the 3 seconds this game is gone. No, it's still him. It's still him. And he accused me that entire round for no reason.
Here's the thing you gotta say about Kratos. Kratos, as he self-admits, he's not a great murderer in that game, but Kratos is a master at throwing suspicion around. Because it's fantastic. There's a lot of interesting personalities in that, and Jed's right, a lot of retardation, a lot of retarded shit. But it's a lot of fun, and if it's still up on my channel at the moment, when it finishes its processing, it'll be moved to the gaming channel. Where all the Ballbusters Among Us games are. So if you haven't watched it yet, it's on my channel. You can see Dermy's perspective. Alf streamed his perspective. I'm not sure who else did, but it was a fun time. A lot of yelling. A lot of screaming. Dre, do you feel like you missed out?
It did sound like a lot of fun. I like fun. That sounded like I had a nice time. I'm glad that you guys did. I had what was it? Sunday.
Yeah.
I had a very, very long day on Saturday. Unfortunately, I had some bad news. A good friend of mine, unfortunately, she has cancer, and so I had to go see her.
Cancer.
Yeah, that pretty much sucked. But my afternoon was decent. My child that is germinating within my wife's womb is growing, and so I spent some time talking to him. So that was
It's a dude.
It's a boy.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Toxicity continues.
Indeed. And those my high points. And every time I talked to him, he kicked. So that was pretty.
Oh,
cool.
That's awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
On
awesome.
the flip side, earlier this week, of course, I had to watch Daredevil, and that was a chore.
We'll talk about that. Then Jed's called.
I'm caught up. Yeah.
So you guys get to talk, and I get to do something else for a few minutes because I am behind schedule here. Because all right. I said this to Jim before we started. I got to stop waiting to the last minute to set up a new intro every week because it's especially when I don't write down the timestamps and I have to scroll through the previous stream. And here's how I do it. I just look for our reactions. It's like I look for everybody's reactions to know. Okay, there's a moment. There's a moment. Or maybe if I'm going like this, then it's like, oh, that's probably something in there. If I'm doing something like that, being super angry.
When have you ever done that?
Well, not like this. I'm just like representing me being angry or boisterous.
Okay,
you know? It's a representation. It's not accurate. Always so critical of me, and I hate you.
Such a caricature.
Yeah. Anyway, so hail and howdy to the chat. We are happy to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. Hail the Goddess and Algra, my mods. They do the best they can with what I give them. Hail Blind Conservative Woman, how are you? Hail Dom H. Dom, who was with us on Among Us on Night. Dom, who was perpetually painting himself as the victim.
Yeah.
We're all out to get him.
Yeah, there was one point where someone's like, "Hey, Dom, where were you?" And then Joe's just kill me, just do it.
Okay, all right. No, Dom earned one thing last night when he knew it was going up to the line, and he made a ballsy move to call an emergency meeting, but he had no evidence to accuse anybody. So it's like, that's it. No.
Yeah, we just booted him for that.
No.
It's like you gave us 2 seconds to walk away towards our task.
What was happening, though, is that I was already dead, and I knew that Jed and Silver were it, and poor Alf kept saying, I'm going to go scan and prove him alive, and Jed and Silver were like, yes, we'll follow you and see you do that. And it's like, I mean, Dom was unintentionally saving Alf from being grisly murdered, but it was going to happen anyway because there was no escaping it. So hail Dom, who is a good time. Dom, who games with us, great. Good afternoon, Kale. How are you? Huzzah, son of Joxer. Hail Clifton 3D. Hail Frank Blaskowitz. Let's see who else has come in while speaking. And anybody else who was just chatting, not chatting and watching, we are happy to have you with us this afternoon. The best way you can do that, hit that like button. And if you are feeling generous, if you check the pinned comment at the top of the chat, I do now have a Stream Elements tip option, a super chat option up there, because some people don't want to give money to YouTube, and you want to just give it straight to my pure little nerd heart. So the link is pinned up there. I haven't figured out how to
straight.
Listen,
you did say that.
Listen, all right. I don't care what you think I do with bananas. All right.
What we've seen you do with bananas.
All right.
Oh.
Well, Dre, listen, I was a man of my word on Monday night last week, and
you ate it the long way.
I had. You haven't seen the clip, have you?
No.
Yeah, that should have been part of the intro.
Well, it's a Mellow Mondays thing. It's not a round table clip. It's going to be on the Mellow Mondays clip tomorrow night. Fine. All right, hang on. Let me set up a window here.
Oh no.
You listen, it's the banana the long way. All right. I was a man of my word, and Devil called me on it, and it had to happen. Where is it? It's in here. I know it's in here. It's in my folder. I have my own folder of all the clips. Where is it? All right, hang on. Let me reorganize it. Here we go. There it is. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, hang on. Let me get it all sent up here so you can all watch my shame. Are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready for shame.
Okay, this is shame. This is shame. Okay, here we go. All right, Devil. Here we go. Now these are
Do you peel it first, or are you going to take the whole thing?
No,
Love
I'm
the
gonna,
banana.
I'm gonna eat it.
Want
I'm
the
going to eat
banana.
it.
You're gonna circumcise it?
So now it's going to be extra distasteful because, as you can see, it started to ripen, and I don't like.
You got a problem with brown phallic objects?
Green banana. So it's not going to. Come on, I've already made that joke somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I made that joke that I don't like brown long.
It is spotted. It might have a
all to me
disease.
Make sure you cup it.
Well, I mean, all right. So now it has to be circumcised. So there we go.
That's true. You need to make sure you do that. Okay,
Abraham is.
You also need to make sure to.
No, listen.
Prep your
listen.
uvula.
Okay, you know what? There were no rules to set down for this. Okay, outside of I just have to eat it the long way, which whatever the fuck that means.
It means try a one fucking bite, bitch.
Yeah. So
He enjoyed that way too much.
I have a gag reflex.
Oh
So
God!
We're gonna.
And you know this how?
All right. So
Because I have
that?
a
Is that
sense.
good angle?
Because I gag if I.
Yeah, that's a really good angle.
I gag.
Deep throat that banana.
Sometimes you got to make yourself throw up. So I mean,
no, Kratos. There is no sweet.
I'm really
talking
uncomfortable now.
I'm a man
yeah,
of my
baby.
word. Okay. All right. Here comes the memes. You get. I deliver.
Here comes the meat.
I have to go. But I don't want to put something long in my mouth like this.
So many clippable moments.
Do it.
All right. Let me try and control my laughter. I can't be laughing when I do this. I might choke. Okay.
This is not good.
Get it, girl.
Swallow.
Yeah, that's right. You take
I
that.
hit the
big
gag.
one.
I hit the back of my throat.
Oh, I'm done.
That-
2 words
we didn't-
Jeremy's
Well,
never
that's
said.
what it does when that happens.
You need to fix
All right. Is that it? Am I done?
Well, you got a banana there.
Well, now I'm just eating a regular banana at this point. I took
try-
it the long way as much as I could.
Yeah, I'm fine. We
Yeah,
got
if
what we
Devil-
want. The
If
clip.
Devil is satisfied, then we're done.
Oh God!
I lost the bet. I had to do it. I'm a man of my word.
Oh my Lord Jesus and the precious tenderloins! What are we doing? God, he
We're
bagged
making
on it.
YouTube content. That's what we're doing.
Oh,
I'm gonna play that video at your wedding.
Well,
Yo,
there are a few steps we got to get through first before we get to that.
yo, you let don't hit the back of your throat. Have you no shame?
Listen. I didn't want to do that, but I had to. All right.
Oh,
My
Adam and
my
his
honor.
2-bit whore behavior.
The worst part is Dermy just sitting there going, "Yeah, take it, bitch." It's like,
Oh yeah, he was having way too much fun. Golly.
No,
goodness.
listen, no, Dom. Listen, it wasn't so much that I didn't want to play that stupid game because 1, I didn't like the game. I didn't like the food in there, so I couldn't play it. And 2, it was the Wheel of Pain. It could have been anything. I could have been made to eat a spoonful of mayo. I could have been made to do some exercises or drink a shot of pickle juice. You know, it was Dermy's Wheel of Pain because here's the thing. Earlier in the night, Devil didn't want to play the game that I had set up. And I said, all right, either play the game or spin the Wheel of Pain. And Devil chickened out. He's like, oh, I'm not going to spin the Wheel of Pain. And then Devil said to me later on when I didn't want to play his game, he's like, all right, then you spin the Wheel of Pain. And he didn't think I was going to do it. I said, all right, fine. I'll take the Wheel of Pain. And that's what happened. I got to take the banana the long way.
I would rather take the banana than eat pickles. Pickles are horrifying things. They're disgusting.
I love pickles. Pickles are delicious. But I don't want to drink pickle juice. I
Yeah.
don't want to drink that. That's nasty. That's nasty. So there were.
I can never drink tequila again because the last time I did, we chased it with pickle juice. It was awful.
God, why?
Ew.
I was with a bunch of Hispanic girls and they said it was great, and I was like 19. I was like, "Oh, girls are doing things with me. I'll say yes."
Okay.
Yeah, they lied to you.
They did. They all took it too, and they loved it. They're like, "Oh, this is great." I'm just like, I'm gonna go vomit.
Yeah,
It just ruined the night.
What's wrong with one? I don't like mayo, so that would have been a good one because I really don't. I do not like mayonnaise. I don't, and so that would have something. And it pickled juice. I like the pickle, but I don't want to drink pickled juice. Ugh.
Both are disgusting.
Okay, I like real mayo, like the real mayonnaise.
I can make real mayo. I learned
how
to make
mayo's
mayo.
good. I mean, pickles and pickle juice are both good.
Yeah,
But no, mayo's fine.
Miracle Whip makes me want to cut off my own kneecaps. Miracle Whip is disgusting garbage.
I don't eat it, but
That's
I
a very
buy
specific-
Hellman's for the household. I don't eat it.
Like Miracle Whip is supposed to be just for cakes, in my opinion. Like you put it in the cake to make your cake rise. That's all.
I mean, Jay Fraser's got it right there. You get punished for some behavior. That's what happens.
That's correct. Jay Fraser got
I
it right.
just come back from basic training and tech school. I hadn't seen a good-looking woman in a year.
The Whammons.
The Whammons. But on Geeks and Gamers, we tried to do something like this. It was a cooking stream, and Krista's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna torture you all for super chats, right?" And we're like, "All right, whatever." And she goes to the fridge. She's like, "What am I gonna make Jed eat?" I was like, "There's nothing gross in there, so I'm fine." And she gives me a lemon, and she's like, "You're not gonna be able to do this." And she's freaking out like it's gonna be the hardest thing ever. And
Lemons are easy.
yeah,
It's easy.
it's just
Yeah,
I just ate it casually because
I mean,
lemons are good.
You'd be like a little sour, but it's not gonna make you go. Here's the problem. Krista watches anime, so she thinks if you eat the lemon, you're gonna go like this. See, that's what she thinks is gonna happen.
She reacted like I was some strong man for not reacting to the lemon, like it was some big moment for her. And then Steph and Beardo both did it without reacting. She's like, maybe lemons aren't that bad.
I'm telling you, she watches anime and she thinks when you eat something disgusting, you're gonna have the.
Well,
that's what's gonna
then
happen.
she pulled out the lime. She thought the lime would be worse.
Oh, the limes are good. Limes are fine. A little lemon lime on a piece of fish. Oh, it's delicious. Delicious.
Krista's great. She has no idea what she was talking about.
Sweet, innocent Krista. Anyway, okay. Well, maybe not so innocent, but we try to make you feel pain. But anyway, all right. So we've seen my shame. And filth. Really? All right, fine. Filth. Okay.
It was filth.
Yeah. Anyway,
you can't upload that to YouTube. You have to put it on the hub.
I tried to upload it to X, but I don't have the blue check mark. I can't do it because it's like the limitation. Well, I was sharing it for the memes. I was giving it to everybody so they can make the memes and make fun of me. Listen, the best way to do it.
You tried to upload it to X videos, huh?
No,
that's what it's called.
DMs. Listen. The best way to deal with this stuff is to lean into the joke and take your whooping. All right.
Oh,
that's how you deal with this stuff.
Just clench your teeth and take it.
And that's the problem. You see, now if Dom could just admit that he and Devil are gonna like have a wonderful wedding in Vegas, it'd be fine, but he can't. All right, that's just an example. Anyway, all right. So that's enough silliness. Let's get on with the show. We've got a good one for you guys today. The week turned out to be kind of light, but still with interesting things. And of course, there's a buildup coming. All right. So first, I'm going to let these fine gentlemen explain why Daredevil's fallen off a cliff. Because we have numbers. We have numbers where Daredevil's doing worse than Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's how bad this is. And we're going to extrapolate that into our continuing conversation about how bad the MCU is going to do the rest of this year. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of feeding into what I was saying, what I've been saying for the whole year. So we're going to talk about that. And then it's Snow White week.
Oh, that's right.
We have been waiting for this for a long time. Not because we are going to enjoy it, but because we're going to enjoy watching the downfall of one Rachel Zegler. And here's that. Even though it hasn't happened yet, the story surrounding all of this is very interesting. Because what we're going to do here today, we're gonna walk the timeline. We're gonna go back to the beginning and show how we got here. The interviews, the clips, all the stuff of why everybody is angry at this horrible-looking CGI nightmare. And then we're in the present where. And that was weird because I was suppressing a hiccup. I'm sorry. We're in the present where just the other day, the embargo lifts and the reviews start coming out. And out of nowhere, the Zeglian social media army just kind of appeared again. And they're trying to say
you're saying they got their funding back.
Maybe George Soros is still out there. You never know. And what happened is there was an announcement that they're all trying to pretend is a big deal. And I'm going to say that it isn't. I'm going to say it's actually a retreat. So we'll talk about there. And then, of course, we are now just we are 4 days away. 4 days away from the Thursday night premiere, which has no actual premiere. We'll get to that when we talk about it. But for our warm-up, though, we've got this. We've got the fact that, listen, when Christopher Nolan announced a couple months ago, that's right. When Christopher Nolan announced a couple of months ago that he was going to do the Odyssey, Jed and I took a moment to say, this is going to either be one of the greatest cinematic presentations of all time, or it's going to be a hot steaming pile on concrete.
Oh, you were being, reasonable with your predictions with that, with your take on that. I was coming in my pants.
Okay, 26 minutes. I've got to write these down.
I'm writing it.
All right, you write it down. 26 minutes.
Come on, it's my favorite book and my favorite director.
I know.
Until the casting came out, I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to love going to the theater for the first time in a decade. This is going to be fantastic. No.
And we got the initial cast. We rolled our eyes. Okay, Tom Holland, Zendaya. As long as they don't make Tom Holland Odysseus. Okay, it's Matt Damon. Okay, he's probably this. We see Anne Hathaway, Penelope. We know she's probably Penelope. And that was kind of all we got in the beginning. It was like, okay, let's see where they go. And then we got announcements of Ellen Page. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to say her name because we're in America and we don't have to play that game anymore because it's the law. We don't have to play that game anymore. So Ellen Page was cast. And then Christopher Nolan just said, diversity! And diverse up. And this week we got an extended cast list announcement. And also Jed had to inform me. I wasn't aware. This thing is currently filming.
It is. And I have all those photos ready for you.
Yeah. So we got.
Wait, casting is done for that?
It's been done. They're filming.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where the casting announcements are coming out as we find them filming. That's one of these things. So this is a short list, but it's basically official that Matt Damon is Odysseus.
Well, this isn't official. This is a report from a Greek media outlet, so this isn't 100% confirmed. But it's reasonable enough. It's out of the realm of rumors enough to talk about, but it's not official.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me. Matt Damon is likely Odysseus. Tom Holland is likely Telemachus. Zendaya is Athena.
You got to be smoking heroin. That can't be true.
It probably is. Yes. Jay Fraser adds this one here. She's not up here. Oh, no, it's right there. Yeah, it's up here. We got Charlize Theron as Circe. Anne Hathaway with Penelope was the only one that really works. It's the only one that truly works.
I don't think Circe is that bad because, she isn't required to have any sort of real emotional range or anything. Like, you don't need a really talented actress to play Circe. It's a smaller role, and Charlize Theron does have this alien look to her, this alien quality that I think works for Circe because she's not human, obviously. Yeah. So that one I'm okay with. That one I just relegate to no opinion on whatsoever. Anne Hathaway I think is decent, but yeah.
Hello, Dragon Lady. Basically, Circe's just there to get boned by Odysseus. That's what she's there to do. She's boned by Odysseus.
And I wonder if they're going to set up the third book because it's a trilogy, right? It's the Iliad, the Odyssey, and then the Telemachy was lost to time. But we do have a synopsis of that followed Telemachus and Odysseus going back to Circe's island and finding out that she had Odysseus' kid. So I wonder if they'll set that up.
He spent a long time there boning her.
He did.
While everybody else was animals. So that's the thing.
It's a good thing it's not a Middle Eastern story because he wouldn't be banging her if it were.
Oof. Wait, but they have a casting for a Calypso yet? Please,
No.
There's still a chance. Vanessa Williams, she can still come back.
It's not going to happen.
Don't take this from me, Adam. You need Vanessa Williams.
Hey, listen, you take everything from me, I can take something from you.
Fair enough.
Benny Safdie is Agamemnon, and Lupita Nyong'o as Clytemnestra.
So that one's a problem for several reasons. So yeah,
she's blacker than Dre.
She is. But her role in the story in the Iliad and the Odyssey is immensely small. Like, I don't even know if she has more than 3 speaking lines in the Odyssey when Telemachus goes to visit her. But she's the wife of Agamemnon, who stays in, basically rules the kingdom as regent of the city-state, while Agamemnon and the Greeks go to war against the Trojan. And it's virtually nothing, but there has been a feminist narrative built around her in modern years, saying that she ruled Greece better than her husband and that she kept the warring states together, even though there's virtually no evidence that she did anything besides sit in her throne and,
There was also nobody there to war. They're all off in Troy. How can you war when your armies aren't there anymore?
A little worried about how that's going to work. But, yeah, if they just relegate her to a side character or like she's a fixture of the scene, you can roll your eyes. But if they go the feminist route, that's going to be really bad.
Yeah, it's not going to be good, and we don't. These are only the guests we have, but as I said, Jed told me that they're filming.
Mm-hmm.
They're filming, and I'm glad Dre is here because we're gonna. We're gonna need you to read.
You ready for this?
We're gonna need you to read a couple of things.
We do need you to read a couple of things. But the first photo I have here is of Tom Holland as Telemachus. It's pretty clearly Telemachus because he's in traveling garb, and like it makes sense. I believe that one, and it's the casting that makes the most sense for him.
Yeah.
But I described this costume to Adam last night. I want to see if you guys agree with my description of it when you see it. I feel like this is Frodo Baggins from Fellowship of the Ring without his vest. All right.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Is this a Greek?
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I know it's about my hot chocolate. Laughing at that.
I love the little life jacket Chris is wearing in the background. This looks so bad.
I mean, but this ain't got nothing to do with Middle Earth. Why the heck is he wearing like he's going to the Shire? I said it right, didn't I? I said Shire. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, here's the thing. I am not a fan of the movie Troy because it excised all the mythological aspects out of the Trojan War.
I like that movie.
It's
got good action, but
it's a well choreographed.
It's not an adaptation of the Iliad.
But it butchers the story and it takes out all the mythological stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
But
it was more grounded.
Grounded. But the costuming was spot on. It looked right. The styles were right. What is this? What is this? I don't know what
this is. A High
is.
School Musical.
Well, Tom Holland looks like he's
like
still
that.
in high school. So, all right, what else do we have?
All right, we have this armor.
That's a black man. What?
And yeah, none of this armor looks good or correct. They seem to forget that this is in the Bronze Age. But Dre, apparently this guy's been named, and we're not allowed to say the name.
Oh,
zoom in a little.
No,
bit.
That's not true.
Zoom in.
That can't be right. Is that supposed to be Nigasius? Is how that
He's black. He can say it.
Yeah, it's okay, YouTube.
Can you imagine? Like, come therefore, Nigasius.
I want to say it so bad because it's funny.
It's pretty good.
All right, that's funny. He got me.
Oh no.
That's awesome.
All right.
But this is what I will say in regards to this. And historically speaking, when it comes to the Greeks at the height of their power, of course we can this is what I'm going to say. I don't think there should be a whole bunch of Afro folks of Afro descent featured in this. But at the same time, if you want to say that due to parts of Northern and maybe Eastern African being colonized by the Greeks, which is definitely something that happened in all of history. Then you look at Cleopatra, stuff like that. And then they imported either African slaves or whatever soldiers to actually fight in the war because it was an all Greek nation against Troy. I can see how this can be justified. Now, I doubt they'll do that.
Yeah,
but I see how that can be justified in that way. If we're going to just take it all as like a historical period piece.
Oh, no, you're absolutely correct. From a historical perspective, there is reasonable justification for black people to be around in the surrounding events in a minor way, because, Greek and parts of Africa aren't that far apart. Sub-Saharan, like this guy, I think is a stretch, but like Egyptians, I think you'd totally see Egyptians around. The problem is that they're doing the named characters that we have physical descriptions of,
And that's
that
the
we
problem.
know their ancestry. Those ones shouldn't be race swapped, but if you have...
They already are, though. They already are, though.
Right. But if you went like, some guys on Odysseus' crew were black, but they were unnamed characters. Yeah, no problem with that. And there are actual mythological justifications to certain race swaps. Like the best example that I can come up with is Dionysus. So Dionysus, it's a classic story. Zeus cheated on his wife. Hera found out and wanted to kill the baby. And so Dionysus as a baby was raised in Africa as a girl. That's a side note. But in modern day Ethiopia, I believe it was. So Dionysus appearing as black makes sense because he had to blend in Ethiopia for his entire childhood through teenage years. Like, if you wanted to make Dionysus black, I could see a justification for that. But that's the problem with what Jerry and I are saying. They're not going to justify any of this. There are ways that you can in this story that you couldn't in, say, Lord of the Rings or King Arthur's Tale or something like that. 100%. But they're just not going to care. They're not going to even try, and that's where the problem comes from.
Zendaya, Athena.
Luckily, there's no photos of her. I might die. She's just not old enough, not mature enough. She doesn't.
Good actress.
Not a good actress. But yeah, the big thing about Athena is when she's in her Athena form, because she does disguise herself throughout the film, so that's separate. But when she's Athena, she should be regal and intelligent. And when you look at her, you're like, she can see into my soul. I'm not saying anything, but she knows what I'm thinking. That's the type of look that she's supposed to give. The casting that I would have loved, it's way too late now for obvious reasons. But Maggie Smith at her prime, like say in her 40s, would be the perfect Athena. That would be like my dream casting for Athena. Does Zendaya say any of those things that Maggie Smith would have?
No. No, Maggie Smith is a legend. So
Zendaya doesn't say woman. She's just a 12-year-old boy. Anyway,
Athena's not. It doesn't matter that Athena's not that attractive though, because she is the virgin goddess, the one of the few real virgin goddess. Because like Demeter, she was banging her ladies. She was banging her ladies and called herself a virgin. But Athena and Hestia were actually, proper virgins. Demeter's like, well, I ain't been penetrated, so I'm a virgin. The others are like, well, no, you're not really.
All right, we got another picture though.
We got several more. Right, so this is John Bernthal. He's going to be in it. It looks like he's going to be the leader of the suitors, is the assumption. We don't have any confirmation on that. Not everyone likes his shaved head, though. I don't know how they got that close of a shave in those eras. But, I think that's really bad casting for him. The leader of the suitors needs to be a little bit slimy.
Pretty boy. It needs to be a pretty boy.
Absolutely a pretty boy. I think John Bernthal would have made a better cast for Odysseus than Matt Damon. Not the best. Kenneth Branagh still, pinnacle. Bulk him up and he's perfect. John Bernthal, I think, would have done a better job, though, than Matt Damon. And there's plenty of other roles that would have been good for John Bernthal as well. Just the leader of the suitors is wrong for him. And Robert Pattinson, he's in the movie, but we still don't know what role he's playing. I think he could have done a good leader of the suitors.
Man, they're going to make him Achilles.
That wouldn't be terrible.
Sparkly Achilles. Sparkly Achilles.
Sparkly Achilles.
Sparkly. Oh, Lord.
Achilles. Is there any more pictures?
Yep.
Oh, no. Okay.
We have a look at what the boats look like.
Okay.
So, this looks like Telemachus traveling to the other kingdoms of Greece to find out what's going on with his dad to try to get help to save his mom.
I have a man bun on that dude.
There is a man bun on that dude.
Oh.
Adam, let the man have his bun. Yeah.
Man buns are gay.
Greeks are what?
Well,
that's fair.
Okay, fair point. But man buns are still gay. Someday Dan Vasco will write a song on that.
The ship is fine. I think it looks cheap. That's the problem. It looks cheap and poorly made. This is, the son of Odysseus. He's a man of wealth. Ithaca isn't a poor country. I mean, it's getting poor because of the suitors, but the boats would have been purchased and made before all of that. Mm-hmm. But this looks like this movie doesn't have the $400 million budget we're assuming it does. It sounds like it's got a $100 million budget, if that. And that's none of this looks good for a high budget movie. All the costumes, the sets, everything we've seen looks cheap.
And here's the thing: Christopher Nolan is notoriously anti CGI.
Yes.
That means what you're seeing is likely what you're going to get. They're not going to spend money touching shit up with CGI.
No, with stuff like this. I mean, you're still going to see monster CGI and stuff like that, but set CGI.
Scylla Charybdis, you have to. Circe's Island,
Polyphemus to a certain extent, unless they go animatronic, which there are rumors he's going to go animatronic.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool, but
I think that would be a good role for John Bernthal as well. Polyphemus.
Jay Fraser says the budget right now is $250 million.
Yeah, the reason I said 400 is it's the same, realm that we talk about with the Marvel movies, where that's the initial budget and it's got to blow up because of how many high budget actors are in this. It's probably going to blow up. But this doesn't look like a $250 million production.
Yeah, me personally, I kind of like the design of the boat. I think, obviously, it's actually real and it's actually in front of me, so that's always a great thing. And based on the front of the hull, it gives me Spartan vibes. So this kind of gives me the right feel for these are Spartan / Thracian type ships. So I think that's kind of cool. But what you said, Jed, I might have been a budget constraint. I don't know. For the most captains or admirals of those guards have larger ships. So I'm maybe we're not seeing the whole thing. Maybe this was just an initial shot. Maybe they actually built one that's bigger, that's actually going to be used. But yeah, I agree. For the spectacle of it all, I think this ship should have been bigger. And
I mean, this isn't the ship that Odysseus sailing across the Aegean Sea.
Yeah, those would have been warships. This is just
this is just Telemachus going to visit some people.
This equivalent of his rich boy sports car driving around is what it is.
Basically, that's a good way of putting it.
I'm underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed. That's a great way of putting it.
Underwhelmed is good
at this point. Also, because we get another look at Tom Holland in his Frodo garb. That doesn't
with a bandana or something around his neck. I don't know.
That's an ascot, my friend. That's an ascot.
Is that an ascot?
What are we, Fred Jones and Scooby Doo? All right. Is there another one? You got more?
No. That's it. It just has a comparison.
Oh,
wait, never mind.
Oh, nope.
This is really it. Okay. So yeah, another shot of the boat.
Yeah, I think the scale is good.
For a small boat.
The scale is fine. I'm just talking about the quality of the material.
Yeah,
the material
I agree.
looks cheap. The size I think makes sense. The size is perfect for what we're going for, but it just looks cheaply made.
Sure. I'll give you that.
And then some wider shots of the people in their armor.
Yeah,
I want to say it, but I can't.
I'm assuming this is Athena when she. It might be Odysseus. It might Athena shapeshifts into an old beggar. For part of the story, it might be Odysseus.
But at the end, Athena puts a glamour on Odysseus to look like an old man. So it could.
That's true. It could be either one.
Yeah.
More. It's a double man bun.
That's even worse. So it's double gay. Double gay. I can say something else, but that would hurt the stream.
In all these photos, Nolan looks upset. I don't know. He's usually a very flat person.
All right, so let's go into that then. We said this at the beginning of this discussion when we started talking about this, when this became a thing that was gonna be real. This is not Nolan's playground. This is not his wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He does grounded. He takes things that are up there and he grounds them, and he puts a more often than not unique, intelligent spin on it that is a little high thought on that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do fantasy, and you can't. This isn't. I talked about Troy earlier. They made it work, but they diminished it. Because you could make Troy work without it. Because it's very easy to say, dude steals another man's bride, runs off. Dude is brother of the strongest king in Greece, able to rally armies, go sack city. Very easy to take out the mythological aspects, even with Achilles being a demigod, this and that. Very easy to do that. So
100%.
You can't do that with the Odyssey. The Odyssey is 85% fantastical.
Well, yeah, the whole thing happens because he offends a god.
Yeah.
Everything he comes across are magical creatures or gods or nymphs or something like that. Titans. There's virtually no non-magical or mythological encounters in the film besides the suitors.
Yeah, and the only time you're grounded is the slaughter at the end of the story, which I will say that's probably still gonna be the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. I want to see his interpretation of the shooting through the 12 axe heads. That a lot of people see that differently because it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. How do you do that?
And I'm curious to see. I want to see the cinematography for stringing the bow.
Mhm.
That's gonna have to be really a well-crafted scene because it's do and then zoop, got it, and then goes right into slaughter.
Are you gonna believe Tom Holland and Matt Damon can take on 40 dudes in a sword fight?
If it was Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because he's got spider strength, sure, but I don't know about that. And right there, it didn't look like Tom Holland has put on any muscle.
Oh God, no.
No.
He doesn't look like he's in shape at all or fit. And listen, Matt Damon, this ain't Born Identity Matt Damon.
Yeah,
Ooh, I love
Matt Damon should be bulked up to the biggest of his entire career. Like Odysseus, he's not as strong as someone like Ajax or something like that, but he is an absolute. Yeah, he's very, very strong. He can. Yeah. He's the only one who can string that bow.
Yeah,
that's why. Oh, I was saying that was why I got a bit confused when I heard about Matt Damon being Odysseus because my dad and I were discussing it a while back, and I was like, "Wait, Matt Damon has muscles," and I was very, very confused. And he was like, "Yeah, see, Born Identity," and I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like that now.
Yeah, that's like,
and he wasn't even bulked up though. Born Identity was very lean.
But he did his own. He did the action, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The same
Yeah. He was great. I love those movies.
And here's the thing, though. Odysseus is. You mentioned Ajax. We mentioned Achilles. Those are demigods who have unearthly abilities. But Odysseus is the perfect specimen of a human, a regular non-divine blood human at peak performance.
He's the Batman of the Greek Justice League.
And he's the genius. He's the strategist. He's the smartest man in the room. And that's why, I mean, Odysseus more often than not will outthink you rather than brute force you. It's only at the very end of the Odyssey where he slaughters the suitors. That's different. That's you guys tried to F my wife, even though I was off effing everybody else under the sun while I was out and about.
Laying pipe.
Yes. So I mean, but that was personal. So he slaughtered everybody. He didn't have to outthink him. He just slaughtered them. But every other instance in the Odyssey, Odysseus's greatest brain, as Jed said, is the Batman type brain situation. He's gonna outthink you, outsmart you. He's going to trick you. That he is the genius behind the Trojan horse. That's his brainchild. I don't see Matt Damon doing any of that right now. It's not a good fit. And I said this to Jen when we talked about this yesterday. It's been put out there, and I would sort of agree with it. Why not tap Sean Bean to reprise his role as Odysseus? It's because he did it. It wouldn't be a direct sequel to Troy, but people would want to see it also because he's Sean Bean. And we'd love to see a movie where Sean Bean doesn't die.
That'd be nice.
That'd be great.
I mean, Sean Bean's better than Matt Damon. He still isn't up there with like Kenneth Branagh or even John Bernthal, I think.
No.
But yeah, can you imagine Matt Damon trying to convince Polyphemus that his name is nobody? He's gonna play it for laughs. It's like, oh, I'm nobody. It's gonna be weird seeing Matt Damon try to do that.
Don't say that out loud. These demons can hear you. Don't say that.
It's probably already done.
Literally my favorite part of the entire book and the original film runs. My favorite part. I lost my mind when that happened. I lost my mind. I got so excited. I started to pee myself. It was great. I love that scene. Don't take this from me, Jed. Don't you take this from me.
49 minutes. Anyway, but this is not.
Maybe that's who John Leguizamo or whatever. Old Luigi. He's playing Polyphemus.
Whoa! John Leguizamo's in this?
Yeah, he is.
Oh God!
Have him play Polyphemus. We have no guesses on who he's actually playing.
We don't know who Ellen Page is yet. We don't. There's a lot of names out there who have not. Oh,
I'm just glad Ellen Page wasn't Telemachus. That's what I was worried about.
I got man. See, not y'all really messing this up for me.
Or, Achilles.
Or it could be Achilles, fun boy that died.
Ooh.
That would actually work. That would actually work.
God.
Anyway, in the end, though, what we have here is Nolan. His reach is exceeding his grasp.
100%.
And I think we're seeing in this instance, it's an instance of reach, grasp, and I don't right now. And we could be proven completely wrong in a year. This could somehow be a masterpiece. Just right now, what we're seeing, at least the legitimate stuff, those screen caps from behind the scenes, from the set, it's not looking good.
And okay, so like when we first discussed this a couple months back, we all knew that this was out of Christopher Nolan's wheelhouse. We all knew that. We all talked about that, and I remember we all trying to give him a little bit of grace because of how much he takes this type of stuff seriously. But now that this casting list is coming out, and I don't like what I'm seeing, and it's not just aesthetically, just like the people that are involved, it gives me a lot of, it's disheartening a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm really hoping that this film is good, and Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors, so I really hope this film is good. But the dominoes are lining up, and I don't like where it's going.
Do we know who's doing the score? Is it Zimmer?
I don't think that's been announced yet, but you could assume that with it being Nolan.
Probably Hans Zimmer. Probably.
Because here's the thing, because I bookmarked this for a different conversation we'll bring in now. Hans Zimmer currently isn't being tapped for any other big stuff because they kind of tried to get him to do Doomsday and Secret Wars, and he said, "I already did a superhero movie. I don't need to do that anymore."
Well, he just did do the 2 Dune movies and is working.
But you know what I mean though. But I'm saying they tried to get him to do some other stuff for next year, the big tentpole stuff, and he said no because I don't want to do that. So if
he might be busy,
with Dune, Dune Messiah, but I
think they were trying to get him back. I think they were trying to get him back for Gladiator 2, but he was unavailable for that as well.
Well, that's good for him, though.
Yeah, he probably just said he was unavailable for that one.
Yeah.
It's either way. This has danger, Will Robinson, danger written all over it. We're gonna keep following. Since they are filming, we're gonna get more set pics. We're gonna get more casting news before all is said and done. And I'm looking forward to that first trailer because I will save my reaction for this show. When it drops, I will save it for this show because we've talked about it as a group. I haven't talked about this individually by myself. So this is our collective discussion. So we'll save for that. And if they're doing this now, what do you think? A trailer around Christmas, maybe?
If they're filming now, October at the earliest, probably closer to Christmas. But I've never wanted to be wrong about a movie more than I am right now.
Agreed.
Like, I want that trailer to blow me away and say, all right, I see what he's doing here. This was intentional.
The trailer's probably going to be good, is the thing. Nolan knows how to make a good trailer, but it's probably going to look good, but we're going to be hypercritical of it.
Oh, of course.
If they show Zendaya as Athena, that trailer's going to be ruined, though.
Don't say it out loud.
Coming down in a halo.
You think they'll put her in the helmet?
Oh, that helmet would look so weird on her tiny ass head.
Why is she in this film, bro?
She's in everything, Dre.
I don't know why Hollywood has a hard on for her. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it's her social media presence on Instagram is what it is. It's been discussed multiple times. It's because she has millions of followers on Instagram, and
she's not a good actress.
No, she can't act. She can barely sing. And she looks like a 12-year-old boy most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the Odyssey, bruh. This is the Odyssey. Homer is backflipping in his grave right now. All right.
Well, listen, at least Homer never would have been able to see what she looked like. Either way, I don't want to say I'm excited, but I am eager to see the next development in this story. Because frankly, not a lot of people are covering this, are they?
Well, nobody cares
at all.
Well,
I think we're one of the few people who, have read
Care.
the Odyssey,
Eh.
are familiar with the story, and
Yeah.
are excited for. Some people are Nolan fans, but they're such Nolan fans. They're like, yeah, we don't know anything yet, but it's Nolan, so I'm gonna love it. And that's the extent of the coverage outside of us that I've seen, at least.
We're
I've
educated
heard
around
of
here.
I've heard of the Odyssey, and I'm slightly familiar with the story, but I haven't read it.
Well, you have homework. You have homework.
Yeah.
Or watch the 1997 miniseries. That's how I got exposed. And oh man, I love that joint. That joint was great. And Vanessa Williams.
Man, you need a moment. You need a moment. Well, you don't get one because now we're gonna talk Daredevil. All right. Once again,
are we talking about anything good this stream?
No, we're not. There's no bright spots today.
We had fun earlier.
We had our 20 minutes of fun making fun of me. Okay, we had that.
We had our fun.
Now we suffer. Right. Daredevil, Born Again, episode 3.
Yikes.
I'm gonna let you guys talk about it while I set up for the next segment because I was very bad and I was late getting things done. So you guys go ahead. You both watch it. Jed, you're caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Dre, I'm gonna ask the question. Your words last week were "I am indifferent." Those were your words last week. Where are you now?
Now I'm bored.
You're bored.
Now I'm bored. Okay. The third episode was focusing on the trial of White Tiger, which at one point was a major storyline in comics before, because that storyline is where the public finds out that Daredevil and Matt Murdock are the same person. And throughout that trial, it actually made a lot more sense because it was really diving deep into the psyche of, hey, why do people really put on the mask to actually help people? And throughout that entire trial, White Tiger ends up losing the trial. He snaps and goes crazy and is like, no, I can't do this. I have things to do. And starts to wild out and is gunned down in the courtroom. That is how that story goes. That is how it ends.
Much better version.
Much better version, Jed. Much better. And then the White Tiger moniker is passed on to his niece, which, in my personal opinion, she's actually my favorite White Tiger. And I like her a lot as White Tiger, even when she turns bad and does the Shadowland stuff. A lot of good stuff is done with that White Tiger. What they did with this show was a waste of my time. This was a big waste of my time. And they focused, the courtroom drama aspect of this, they pretty much made Kangaroo Court, and that kind of bothered me a lot. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was told by our friend Brad Redentuk Devil that the courtroom scene was an abomination.
It was.
I don't think they've ever even, heard what a lawyer does.
He said as a lawyer, that is one of the worst things he's ever seen in courtroom representation.
That was rough, and it was completely out of character by Matt Murdock. It was not his character at all, and that legitimately upset me. Because they literally, it's like, oh, he's trying to play the court for a fool. That's not his character. That's not what he does. And not
I don't
to mention,
like this Matt Murdock. He's completely changed. Like he's cynical, obviously, but I don't know how to describe it. Like he gets sadistic pleasure out of messing with people. Like he's manipulative. I feel like that's what he is in this show. And I'd never got that word associated with him in the Netflix show. It's weird to see him like this. And not just like lawyer talk where he's like, he sets up something and then plays something off in an opening or closing statement or something like that, or in a witness interview or something like that. This was straight up like, I am going to get my way no matter who gets in my way. Like he's been more Kingpin than Kingpin in this show.
Yes. And it's very disheartening. Like when the witness didn't flip, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna get something interesting. My brain went to, hey, okay, he didn't flip. Now Matt Murdock's gonna have to try to think of a logistical way, or maybe have to don the mask, do something in order to move certain pieces outside of the law so that the law can work. That's where I thought this was going to go. No. He then engages in kangaroo court nonsense and puts into, which he did not put the mask into evidence because he already manipulated the court of saying, hey, let's not bring up the man's White Tiger passed, and then immediately uses it to try to flip the jury, which is against the law because that would be an item that has to be put into evidence.
He could be disbarred if this trial was real.
Instantly disbarred.
And it is irrelevant. He had a good argument at first that it didn't have anything to do with it. He made, after the witness didn't pan out, he made it a trial of character rather than a trial of crime. And he kept saying, well, this guy who puts on this mask and has a magical amulet that we're not going to explain, he could never hurt anyone. Character witnesses are fine in small details. Like, they are important in small aspects, but you can't build an entire trial off of character witnesses. And that's all he did.
That's not what he's being tried for. That's the problem. The problem was you committed a murder. That's what he's being tried for. The murder of a police officer. Your character witnesses don't mean jack because it's completely irrelevant. You flipped it and be like, oh, he couldn't have committed the murder because he's actually a good guy. And now let's find all the people somehow that the White Tiger has saved to come and be character witnesses. Where the heck do these people come from? They did it. And once again, the original Netflix show did a very good job in scaling time. They did an excellent job in showing what's happening a day by night. Whoa, let's all get together. What do we need to do? Okay, let's find character witnesses for the White Tiger. That's what the Netflix show did very, very well. Able to show how we got from A to B without it. We just instead of us making up stuff as we go along. You immediately go into the council chambers, and next thing you know, we're bringing up character witnesses? For what? And the fact of the matter is that actually flipped the jury to a non-guilty verdict is crazy. I'm trying to tell you, my jaw was on the freaking ground. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how they botched this story so badly. Because this is the main story that version of White Tiger is known for. Getting killed in court. That's pretty much his main storyline. Because other than that, he was doing Iron Fist stuff in the 70s. And the less we talk about that, the better. So, like what they did with this, I thought was ridiculous. And then to have him be killed off unceremoniously on the street by a cop or something that's wearing the Punisher skull. Just a complete waste of time. It wasted my time. I was bored to tears. I don't like what they're doing right now. I don't like what they're doing with Kingpin. I don't like any of this. Like, all of this is unacceptable. There's one more episode that was of the original shoot. Maybe after the 4th episode, maybe business picks up. Maybe.
That would be nice.
But right now I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy. And this just pretty much just sodomized the character of freaking Matt Murdock, and it was embarrassing. The mess was embarrassing.
Oh, this show is just getting progressively worse. I don't like how in episodes 2 and 3 with White Tiger, they never really explained what his amulet does. As someone who wasn't familiar with the character from the comics, I have no idea what he's supposed to do. They made it seem like the amulet would give him super speed, super resistance.
It enhances his endurability, which I have a big problem with, but whatever. It enhances his durability, his strength, reflexes. It's kind of like a lesser version of Black Panther's herb. That's
okay. But yeah, they never explained it, but they set it up as such a big thing that I was surprised that he got so ganked so easily at the end.
Yes, and once again, Jed, you're bringing up a good point. How in the world? See, and this is why the comic was perfect, because he got gunned down when he didn't have the amulet. It makes sense why he was murdered. Well, killed in court, because he didn't have his superpowered amulet. So you mean to tell me superpowered White Tiger doesn't have the reflexes to see when somebody's coming up behind him? Doesn't have the senses?
White Tiger in general, I don't think was written very well because, yeah, they hinted at drama with his wife, but the actor, he I don't think he was directed very well because he just did the same thing in every single scene. Like, yep, my life's ruined. Yep, my life's ruined. My life's ruined. Oh, you just added me as the White Tiger? Yeah, my life's ruined. It's just that in every single scene. And what makes it worse is I don't think the show went to enough of a justification to completely exonerate him in the eyes of the audience. Like, in a legitimate court of law, he is reasonable, even with the true facts of the situation, not the warped facts that the corrupt cops give. He is liable for manslaughter. I do believe there is a good case for manslaughter for what he did.
Yeah.
And they don't go to a whole lot of work to exonerate him in the eyes of the audience. They do in the court, which isn't very well.
Or proof. And like, see, this is the crap that really pisses me off. Because let's just take everything for face value. Oh, the producer. Yep, that sounds right. And let's take everything for face value. Let's just say, like, outside of what the cop said, and let's just say there was no cameras in the subway. We'll leave that where it is.
It doesn't sound right.
We'll just leave that where it is. There's no cameras in the subway. He got off on manslaughter and murder in the first and second degree with no evidence to the contrary.
Just character witnesses got him off for 3 counts.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, okay, they're going to find him guilty. He's going to freak out. He's going to get gunned down. That's what I'm saying to myself because that's what the comic is.
That would make sense.
These fools find him not guilty on first degree, second degree, and manslaughter with absolutely no evidence to defend him. None. Zero.
Just think of the DA's case. The DA had one cop and the defense's failed witness. That alone is like, yeah, we have a cop who, from their perspective, a reliable witness, and the supposed victim is saying, yeah, none of that ever happened. There's plenty of evidence on the DA side. The DA's got a clean sweep. And Matt's like, but he puts on a mask sometimes, and people like him.
It was the most bizarre crap I've ever seen. Because, like, once again, I have to go back. In the original show, when individuals were lying on the stand, like especially in season 1, when we're trying to get people to confess, he puts the mask on, does unspeakable evils to them, and then has evidence come to the forefront or find the right tool or the gun or the knife, whatever it was to help turn the jury. None of that happened. At no point did he mask up and then try to find if there was a security camera that saw the guy running for his life or saw those 2 cops go down into the subway before White Tiger did. Nothing. He did nothing. Even his hustler, investigator, black guy, whoever they made this dude up
and his partner who's brilliant.
Yes,
for some
of course,
reason.
She's the best, of course.
For some reason.
Did nothing. They did nothing. I was like, yo, okay, get the hustler to go and get some security camera footage. And then let's say he finds that it's all been wiped. Now we have suspicion. Now we can create some reasonable doubt because maybe on another side of the street, there was a security camera that's looking somewhere else. The fact that absolutely no detective work is done and no real lawyering is happening was absolutely infuriating. I could not believe my eyes.
Pretty bad.
I just couldn't believe it. And everything with Kingpin is wasting my time. Vincent D'Onofrio and his greatness is being wasted.
He filled in a hole this episode. That's all he did. It's like, hey, I'm the mayor.
Filling a hole, huh?
Yeah. He's just driving down the street and there's a pothole and the construction guys aren't working on it. And he gets out. It's like, yeah, fill that hole. And then walks away. That's the big thing that Kingpin, besides going to marriage counseling.
Yes, and marriage counseling, which I think can be interesting if we just focus on why, like why they're in this counseling. Like we kind of know because we have to find a way to justify his disappearance because of all the dirty, useless Disney Plus shows that exist. So we have to use the stories that were put in front of us before the show to justify his disappearance and the estrangement from his wife. And then you have the tracksuit gangs and all the other gangs killing each other because
who cares?
Not around. No one gives a crap. And then like his wife, Vanessa. Now I hate Vanessa too. I hate all these characters. And I used to love these characters. I used to use lube on these characters. Okay, these would be my favorite characters I'd ever seen. And these folks are useless. Now Vanessa's like, you're just getting back at me because I was letting that dude pop my coochie. No, it's got nothing to do with that. I don't care about this. And they're not doing anything to make me care. And the whole freaking BB Glazer, everything that BB Urich stuff.
Oh God,
get this trash off my screen.
It's irrelevant.
Okay. I just can't. I can't, man. The mess is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and I don't know why. I don't know where the story's going. Jed, I don't know where any of this is going.
There's no setup what Kingpin's master plan is. There's no setup for an arc with Matt, besides eventually he's going to put the suit back on. He hasn't done that yet since the beginning of the show. And there's so much potential. I think that's what I hate the most is there's so much potential in all these storylines. Like you said, the marriage counseling could be interesting. The courtroom scenes, based on the comments, that sounds like it would make way more sense and play into the overall plot. Like if White Tiger had freaked out and had to be gunned down in the courtroom, that helps Fisk. And Fisk goes, hey, see, vigilantes are dangerous. You should listen to me and ban them. Like all the storylines could have tied together. In this case, he's just like, I just want to watch this and see how it plays out casually in one scene. And White Tiger, he could have had an arc in the story as well. Throughout it, it was setting up that he would give up the mantle of White Tiger. Matt even says at one point, if we exonerate you, if you're acquitted, you can't be White Tiger anymore. You cannot be White Tiger. And it seemed like they were going that direction where he's found like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I need to be with my wife. I need to repair that relationship. They know who I am now, so there's no point. And then at the end, he just puts it on for no reason, gets gunned down immediately. Completely undoing the arc for no reason whatsoever. Like they set up so many things and then they just go nowhere. I don't know if that's a byproduct of the reshoots, the chaos of the different versions of the story with how they had to keep most of the first 4 episodes intact. I don't know if it's lingering from that, but yeah, nothing goes anywhere. Any character arcs that you think might be happening aren't happening. People are just stagnant, and then everything's wrapped up in a scene. It's like, yeah, we're in a trial. What's going on in the trial? Nothing. Oh, the trial's over. Oh, great. Thanks. I really was invested in that. And it was just one. I didn't hate the first episode. I thought the first episode was okay, even with the death that hurts me to my soul because he was my favorite character from the Netflix show. I thought that fight scene between Bullseye and Daredevil was pretty good. It was clearly mostly CGI, but I still really enjoyed that fight scene and the visceral nature of it. It was still violent and gory, and it's like, all right, they haven't lost their edge. And then how the fight scene ends with Daredevil pushing Bullseye off the roof intentionally, I thought, okay, Bullseye's dead, and we're finally going to go down the Punisher rabbit hole. And I think just like Revenge Thor and Endgame would have been better than Fat Thor, I think Revenge Daredevil would have been way better. That's why he was absent from the events of Endgame or whatnot, and like they're trying to explain all those shows, because he's going on a murder rampage. He's become the Punisher. And then that's why Frank comes back in. It's like, dude, like I told you, once you go my way, because that's what he said in season 2, once you come over to my side, you can never go back. And with the events of Frank in the other show, he could have pulled him back. He's like, I've learned that you can come back, and I want to help you come back, Daredevil. You're not Red. You're not supposed to be like me. And there's a character arc there. Instead of, I just don't put on the suit anymore. And like, I don't even really care what's going on. Hey, I'm just a lawyer, and I'm rich now. Apparently, his law firm that's been been founded for a year is flourishing.
Yeah, he's got
Nelson and Murdoch was not doing that well after their first year. It just doesn't make sense.
A lot of it doesn't make sense because they're throwing too many stories together. And when they did the Murdoch and McDuffie, that's when Daredevil goes to San Francisco, and that's when he starts that firm. Not in freaking New York, Hell's Kitchen. Nothing like they're flinging too much crap together. And the darker version of Daredevil that they're doing that actually does kill Bullseye was from one of my favorite runs, the Shadowland story. And that joint is great because it starts chronicling the downfall of Matt Murdock when he actually becomes leader of the Hand. He takes over the Hand. Yeah, it gets really interesting. He takes over the Hand because he's like, hey, somebody has to lead the Hand so that they don't become grisly murderers. So if I'm leading them, we can be pretty much good assassins, whatever. But they put this stuff in there that's showing this darker trend for Daredevil, well, we're not justifying it.
And it's not actually darker. He's just scowling more.
Yes,
that's what it means by darker.
It's bizarre, and that's why I'm holding out hope that it's just these first 4 episodes that they couldn't do but so much with because they'd already filmed it before the adults got into the room. Oh, that's the only thing I can assume. And the first part of the pilot was actually reshot to include Foggy and Karen Page. So like all this stuff that I am not interested in, or that is just being a sloppy version of. Do you know what it's reminding me of, Jed? Are you ready for this? It's reminding me of freaking She-Hulk. That's what it's reminding me of.
The courtroom drama is on that same level.
Receding into my body, okay? Like that courtroom nonsense that I saw was an abomination. They should have lost that case hands freaking down. And even if they were going to lose it, at least have him do something about it that's proactive. Go find a camera. Go find anything. Call somebody's mama. Anything. Character witnesses, the best you can do to justify if this person snapped and committed murder. Under no way, shape, or form does that work. And it was just, it was just rough, and it was lame, and it was boring. And I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. Which I blame myself. I blame myself for this. I blame myself because I had hope. And as I said, and I've been saying it to Adam forever, everything has to die. Everything has to die. And I'm watching Daredevil die in front of me. Now, there is a chance, I'm going to say this 4th episode is going to be a bust, that the last 5 that was part of the whole revamp of the show could be something decent and solid. And that's all I can hold.
But there's only 8 episodes or 9 episodes. There's
9.
not enough time to salvage from what I understand.
We're a third of the way through. Nothing has happened.
I don't know how you feel about this, Dre, but I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to the numbers, which we're going to talk about in a second, because, yes, this show isn't as bad as Agatha, in my opinion, or a lot of these other Disney Plus shows. I do believe it's the best Disney Plus product I've seen, but at the same time, like you said, I think the numbers are a good thing because it needs to die. I don't want to see Daredevil sodomized. Keep doing Agatha, keep doing She-Hulk characters that I don't give a flying fuck about, and do whatever you want. But I'd rather our characters not be touched for a little while until good quality can return. So I'm okay with the numbers, even though they're horribly bad.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And that's where we're gonna go now. Now that you guys have gotten it out of your system, you've exercised.
It's bad, Dre. It's bad, Adam.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Oh, not
it's
that
hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. It's hard up my hole. Not the good way.
It's hard. I'm not.
All right, but you know what? You know what's not hard to understand? Per your reaction and all the other reactions I've seen now for the past 2 weeks, I've simply soaked it in. Remember, I'm on the fence. I have no horse in this race. Don't really care, except the fact that I'm gonna be honest. Because everybody is unhappy with it right now, most are unhappy. Makes me glad. Makes me glad because the MCU deserves it.
They do.
It
They've earned
deserves it. It deserves to have an opening of only 7.5 million for that premiere. That's 2 episodes.
It's crazy, bro.
That's 2 episodes. We're going to drop 2 at once. We're going to think, it's going to bolster our numbers. Well, guess what you got? You only got 7.5 million people watching it on Disney Plus. And listen. Disney Plus is not a juggernaut streaming service. It is a failed streaming service. Everybody knows it. But still, it didn't get more, as we mentioned, than Agatha. It got less than Agatha all along. 9.3. It got less than the disaster that was The Acolyte.
Good Lord.
Now, The Acolyte got that 11.1 million after 5 days, so the premiere was probably dog shit. But either way, it's tracking poorly. We haven't heard what the numbers are for episode 3 yet, but I guarantee it's dropped. In another month, we'll get those Nielsen numbers. From what I understand, I don't think it even showed up on Samba, did it?
Samba hasn't been reporting a whole lot, so I haven't seen it. But
okay.
When I first saw this 7.5 million announced on Twitter, the Twitter account that I saw share it made it seem like that was the overnight number. And I got excited. It's like, oh shit, this episode sounds like it was good or decent. The first episode, it's getting 7.5 overnight. Not great for HBO, but really, really good for Disney Plus. This might be a great thing. This might be a good thing. We might be getting more shows like this in the future. And then I actually read the article, and it's like in 7 days for both episodes. I'm like, oh, that's dog water. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Absolute dog water.
This isn't good. And we said this at the start of this part of the year for this. After we're past Black Falcon, Captain America buzzing around in this brave new world. We are past that. That thing is dead in the water. It hasn't even, you know what? Honestly, I didn't check it. I will check it real quickly as we keep talking about this. But that thing has lost all kinds of money. It's a failure. Even, and one of the news stories this week that other people have covered is the fact that the shills are now having to accept that movie bombed. Okay. And this was the bright spot of the year. There was no debate on that. This was the one thing you and everybody else out there were saying, oh, they're all good. Please let it be good. How many times did I see, please let this be good. Please let this be good. How many times did we see that? Everybody just wanted Daredevil Born Again to be good. It was the only thing they said they had a chance to be good because of, as we just talked about, or you talked about, the behind-the-scenes stuff where they came back, they scrapped the 18-episode plan, they retooled it, and now here you got these 8 episodes, and you thought, okay, they took it seriously. We're going to give you something hardcore. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. D'Onofrio is ready to be Kingpin again. They're not going to make him Soypin from the previous 2 versions that we saw from Hawkeye and Echo.
He might be Sawyer.
Ooh.
The message is embarrassing.
They're somehow they're going to do right, but here we are. You're 3 episodes in. Jed, you're angry. You're angry. You're angry. Dre is bored. Dre went from indifference to boredom, which
that's where I was on episode 2. Episode 2, I was bored through every single second of it. I thought it was going to be the worst episode of the show, and then the nonsense of episode 3 happened. And I'm angry with 3. With 3.
And now bored is more emotion than indifferent, but it's not the direction you want to be going.
No, it's not.
And apparently, the world sort of agrees. Nobody watched this. This is, as I just pointed, this is Disney Star Wars level, nobody watching. Because if I'm going to say nobody's watching Disney Star Wars, I now have to say nobody's watching MCU. I have to be fair. And this is the story. Nobody's watching. And now, as I have been saying since before Black Falcon Captain America, when we talk about the July 3-way dance, the triple threat match is going to happen in July between Jurassic Park and Superman and Baby Steps. And before that, now Thunderbolts. And in between that somewhere, Riri Williams. The MCU is in trouble. There is no denying that we have gone into this is apathy. It's not superhero fatigue. I'm not going to say that. This is MCU apathy. That the only people who tuned in were the hardcores that were going, please let this be good. So right now, nobody watched this. Is anybody going to watch Thunderbolts?
Oh, absolutely not.
No. We're not even
no one wants to see Bucky as a politician. I don't care what the justification is. Representative Bucky is awful.
Yeah. And we're not even going to watch Thunderbolts. We're going to look at the box office, and that's it. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to actually watch it and review. We're just going to laugh as it makes no money on whatever budget it turns out to have. And then, I mean, what is it? Thunderbolts is May, I think. Is it May? May or June?
No, Thunderbolts, yeah, May.
May? Okay. So Thunderbolts May. Then you got June. You got 2 months. Literally 2 months because Baby Steps is at the end of July. It is coming in third after Jurassic Park and Superman. We've had that discussion. And no matter how we move the pieces around on that 3-way dance board, Baby Steps is always last. Because nobody is going to be enthusiastic for Baby Steps. So I've said before, I'm saying again because I want to be consistent in my statements. Baby Steps it barely breaks 500 million. I think that's how apathetic. This right now is a snapshot in time. People aren't enthusiastic for anything MCU. The thing everybody wanted the most, nobody showed up. So nobody's going to show up for Thunderbolts. Baby Steps is going to be a disaster for them. And then what's on the horizon? They are getting ready, starting. We know they're there in the UK for Doomsday. Doomsday. There's nothing else in between. There's maybe one or two more TV shows that nobody will watch. You've got no ramping up. Nobody is going to be excited for this. Doomsday is going to be an Avengers movies that will flop. And here's something. The Russo brothers are now starting to talk. They're starting to talk. And here's part of a statement they made. Russo brothers say the upcoming Avengers films will be new beginning for the MCU. We told an ending story with Endgame. Now we're going to tell a beginning story. Hold up. Hold up. What happened to an Avengers movie being the cap of storytelling?
Those days are done.
The Avengers movies were culmination of
Every
events.
single one of them. Oh, well, Age of Ultron, I will say, is probably the only one that wasn't a culmination of events. But yeah, the first Avengers movie, it was set up in pretty much every previous movie with the exception of the first Iron Man, which for obvious reasons makes sense. But yeah, we got the Tesseract in Captain America. We got Loki and Thor. We were even getting stuff in Iron Man 2 and the Incredible Hulk. It was all working so well, building up to that. And yeah, why would you want your climactic event as Act 1?
And here's the thing. There were still elements in the previous movies that did set up Avengers Age of Ultron. There were still some.
Yeah, there were still some. Yeah,
but
I just mean Age of Ultron was setting up Phase 3 more than Phase 2 set up Age of Ultron.
True, very true. But things were leading up to Age of Ultron. There is nothing leading up to Doomsday. Nothing. These events don't matter. The events that came before have essentially been relegated to who cares. The multiverse saga didn't effing happen. Didn't really happen.
Well, that's a certain actor's fault, according to Disney.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be getting Kang Dynasty instead of Doomsday, so they didn't have time to do the setup.
There were Kangs! And the Kangs, and despite the fact that every Kang that appeared got his ass kicked, especially the most evilest one ever in Quantumania. He was the worst of the Kangs.
And he got beat by Ant-Man.
That's ridiculous.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. So
Loki beat him twice.
Yeah. So you look at this. This is the state of the MCU now. Okay? This state. Apathy. They're going to make these two movies. They have to. They've already paid Robert Downey Jr. his money.
Oh.
They're going to make these movies.
We got that Brinks truck.
But afterwards, this could be such, in my opinion, such a cataclysmic failure. These two movies, that it's going to lay waste to any possible attempt at storytelling going forward. It is. And good. Dre says that everything's got to die, then good. Let it die.
It's got to die.
Let it die.
Well, this has already been dead already, to be fair.
It's a zombie. It's a zombie. And I'm not shedding tears. I've shed no tears on this. I want it to go away. I am happy that Daredevil's doing so bad for the simple fact that it accelerates this. There is no Daredevil is bad. And even though we said it wasn't going to move the needle, but at least would have made people somewhat happy. Now nobody's really happy.
Yeah. And that's the part that's really disappointing, because we all knew that it wasn't going to save the MCU or any variation thereof. But if you could just give me something fun and good for me to talk about, that would have been really, really nice. But I can't have nice things, Adam. I can't have nice things.
No, this is why we can't have nice things, because everything sucks. And we're not allowed to even have a moment of optimism, because there's no reason to be optimistic about any of these things here. None whatsoever. Because they're not making, I say this is what I say about James Gunn a lot, and I'm going to attribute it to some of this stuff now. They're not making this stuff for fans. They're making it for themselves. They're making it to scratch some sort of weird, we just want to adapt it in our way itch. And it's that kind of disconnect which has led to the apathy, because fans easily pick it up. They easily understand, I am not going to be serviced by this. I am not going to get the feelings of hope and joy and excitement and escapism entertainment that I should when I pay my god-awful amount for every ticket that I submit to go and see these movies. And all we want is entertainment, and they're not going to give it to us. And the blame, right now, I'm not even sure what the blame game is going to look like when these two movies fail. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's going to be a different world by the time we get to these two movies.
That's true.
I don't think it'll be racism and sexism this time.
It can't be. It can't be. Can't be.
Unless they make Captain Marvel the leader of the Avengers. And
well, hey.
Just
Brie
to
Larson.
defend the movie.
Wait, Brie Larson's words. I don't know. No one's talking to me. She's not involved in any of this.
Oh, that was a long time ago, so she might be on Doomsday.
By now, I think we would, if she was in the UK right now, we would have heard about it. She would have been spotted. Listen, she may have had some sort of minor recovery from her worst moments at the beginning of all this nonsense in the culture war, but the Brie bots are still there. They still worship her. If she had been spotted in the UK right now, we'd know about it. We would know.
That's why filming in the UK is so dumb. Because, if any actor isn't in the United States and is spotted anywhere in Europe, people are going to assume that they're filming.
Yeah. That's why it's easy to spot Tom Holland and all those people filming the Odyssey. It's easy to spot them when they're not lost in the mix of the American news cycle scene or the population density in the cities and that. It's easy to lose track of them. But when you're in England, and no offense, Dragon Lady, it's very easy to spot everybody on the island. Nowhere to hide. Very easy.
Yeah, because when we went to see them film The Batman a couple of years back, and that was in Glasgow Metropolis, the cemetery towards the end of the film. When the moment, we'd actually left at that time because that was after half an hour because it was raining. So we saw them, I think it was the stunt people working on the bikes. But apparently, the moment Robert Pattinson showed up, the press went absolutely nuts.
So it's very easy to spot when the actors show up in England for these.
Or just anywhere that's not a big film hub. Like if these actors were in Atlanta, Georgia, there's so many movies filming there all the time that there's reasonable doubt.
Or it's easy, or if they're in Florida, it's easy to spot. Or obviously LA, although there's not a lot going on in LA in the moment for reasons. But or Canada. It's easy to lose them in Canada because a lot of shit gets filmed in Canada. But when they go to England, when they go to any places in Europe for on the site filming, very easy to spot. Brie Larson's probably not there. A lot of them we know are there already. And all we got to say is nobody's excited. Nobody's excited. Nobody is chomping at the bit, except for there are the shills in the stands going, yay. No, but they don't count. They're not legitimate. Every one of them is a window-licking, drooling, short bus riding stand. And they just wait to have the dead fish thrown in their face so they can clap more like the seals that they are and then stand there and get the dog shit in their mouth and say, thank you, sir, might have some more. That's it. But we are not. And because we are real fans who have left this stuff, that is why I keep saying these movies, the budget on this is going to be astronomical. The budget on Doomsday. I'm not going to predict Secret Wars yet, but I think Secret Wars will be even bigger because there are already rumors. I believe they said they're going to have the Thor Corps for Secret Wars. They're going to be doing all that shit. That Doomsday is going to be astronomical. Secret Wars will likely be even worse. But because of the astronomical budgets, because there's no way they're going to hit the heights of Infinity War and Endgame, no fans are going to show up, which means the budget, the gross is going to be tiny, and therefore no net profit, none whatsoever. All I want is to enjoy this, and I won't. Therefore, I'm not. Now, I am going to review Baby Steps because we kind of have to. For that one, it's gotten such a certain buildup of its support because it's essentially part of the three-way dance. I don't need to see Jurassic Park because dinosaurs. We've already made that case. You don't. It's just dinosaurs. But Superman and Baby Steps, we'll be watching those to report on them, and that'll be a different discussion overall. But there's more excitement for Superman right now, and its dangerous, teetering, possibly likely failure than there is for this. And that's saying something because there's a lot of red flags around Superman, which is a discussion I'll have a later time. Any final thoughts on this? Have I missed anything in these statements?
No, we're just watching the demise, the fatigue, the apathy is all there, and I can't think of a single thing that Marvel could do at this point to bring people back. Okay. Like even a good product at this point would be lost in the mix too much to succeed.
And just to do due diligence, hasn't even hit 400 million yet.
It's made 5 million domestically this week.
Oh,
it's over.
Really?
It's over.
Oh no!
It's over.
Yeah.
Look at that theater drop.
There's no debate.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
No debate
it's like,
anymore.
It's like a 12. I'm gonna bring it back up. That's like a 1,200 theater drop essentially.
It'll probably drop below 3,000 theaters in the U.S. by next week.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the per theater thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was only forward. I was looking at the per theater take. $1,200 per theater take. 200 was like, it's gonna drop under 3,000. Failure, complete failure.
Even by their garbage numbers that they put together, which no one on earth believes the budget for, it still doesn't make money. That's why.
Yep. All right, so that was due diligence right there. We can't not just remark on it. What happened?
And
go ahead, Mike.
While we're talking about the budget,
studio crashed. I have to reload it.
While we're talking about budgets, I looked up the budget for Daredevil Born Again, and I want to see if you would believe this number. Daredevil Born Again has a budget 3 times the size of Daredevil Season 1.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
I can believe that 110%.
The money went nowhere, though.
It's Disney.
I believe that undisputedly. On the animation budget alone in the first episode.
Oh, there was a lot of CGI. The rubber swinging. He was
so much
way Spider-Man, and he was Spider-man.
Yeah.
Yes, I can believe that.
So yeah, it looks like it was $150 million budget for season 1 is what's being rumored. So it's lower than the Acolyte, so we will have that argument to throw in Acolyte fans' faces, which will be fun for why it wasn't canceled or might not be canceled versus the Acolyte. But yeah, that's still really high. That 7.5 isn't worth it.
I would love it if it gets that season 2 officially. And the Acolyte still got canceled. That would be. That'll be fun.
Because the Acolyte was 200. What was reported, right? Or was it higher?
220.
220,
if I remember correctly. There we go. Jay Frazier for 20 British pounds. Hail Roundtable. Congrats, Papa Dre. For the panel, 3 questions, 1 for each of us. So me first, Adam. Thoughts on Sadie Sink possibly being cast as the real MJ in Spider-Man 4? 1, I don't watch Stranger Things, so I haven't seen her in stuff, so I have no opinion on her. Now she's a ginger.
She's very bitchy in Stranger Things,
and I'd have to look at her. I'd have to take a good look at her now because MJ is supposed to be a 10 out of 10 knockout.
Yeah, she's not. Sadie Sink
that
absolutely
she's not.
Okay,
season 4, she wasn't as bitchy as seasons 2 and 3. She was very bitchy in season 2. But yeah, with Sadie Sink, the rumors are that she's actually going to be Gwen Stacy instead because they don't want to replace Zendaya and make that willingness happen. Because the other 2 Gwen Stacys that we've had in live action have both been redheads who have appeared blonde. Yeah. So that's the rumor that I've heard that I see is a little bit more credible. She is a little young, even compared to Tom Holland. She's 20, I think, maybe 19.
Really? That's
she's young.
Yeah,
that's young.
So I hope she's not playing any major character. Like if she were playing Black Cat, I would feel very uncomfortable watching that movie.
Felicia Hardy's even hotter than MJ.
Yeah. So I just don't see Disney or Sony being willing to replace Zendaya as MJ because that makes a statement that I don't think they're willing to make. So I don't believe that she is the real MJ in Spider-Man 4. I see Gwen Stacy's being more reasonable though.
That's still gonna be really weird.
It's going to be very weird. I'm hoping she's playing some random character, maybe a side character who's Jacob's new girlfriend or something.
Just make something up at this point. Stop it. Just stop. So that's the best I can answer that on my end. For Jed, if you had the budget, which Greek myth would you adapt?
Oh, the Odyssey. Yeah, I mean, it's no question for me. I fucking love the Odyssey. I read that book all the time. It's probably one of my favorite books ever. So yeah, that would be my first go-to, and I would do it word for word. Like I would straight up copy and paste and then make the book in script format. Like I wouldn't change shit about it except for maybe a little bit of trimming because I absolutely have to get it in a runtime. That would be all the changes.
Do it for TV again. Do it for TV.
Yeah, do a mini series. I would love to do a mini series of the Odyssey, but there's a lot of other ones. I'd love to see an actor telling Belafonte, he gets aspects of his story stolen and given to other people all the time. So Belafonte would be good. A real telling of the Minotaur with Perseus or Theseus, excuse me. That would be great because we hear about the Minotaur all the time, but we've never really seen a good version of the Minotaur. Jason and the Argonauts is a classic one to go to. I'm not personally as big of a fan of that one. I feel like it's a bit too mainstream. But it would be great to see a good version of that as well. But yeah, the Odyssey would be the obvious choice for me.
Dre, are you watching the WCW YouTube channel?
I have dabbled in the YouTube channel for WCW because they got all the Starrcade pay-per-view matches for absolutely free to watch, which I think is actually really, really cool because I used to love WCW coming up back when it mattered. I'm starting to dabble. I know they're starting to drop some docu series on there, and I haven't dabbled into those yet, but I'm definitely going to be checking those out. Because anytime you got like they're doing docu series on Dusty Rhodes and his influence on Jim Crockett Promotions and all the other great stuff, yeah, definitely, I'm gonna keep diving in on that because that stuff is freaking sweet, especially when WWE still can't get their stuff together and still can't replay freaking episodes of Raw.
But they had the WWE Network
with no episodes of Raw or SmackDown or anything like that. What are we doing with ourselves? Just dumb. But I am checking out that WCW YouTube channel. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay Fraser, for the 20 British pounds. Okay. All right. Main event.
Do we have to?
Yes. Because I need to clip this out for a video tomorrow.
Oh no!
Is that all we are to you?
We're being used, Jed. We're whores.
Yes. Yes. All right. Listen, I give you guys credit. All right, you get credit. Anyway, all right. So it's Snow White.
Where's our cut? We demand our cut.
There's your cut.
What's that face, Dre?
What happened to Dragon Lady? She's gone. Oh, I'm stupid.
It's that time of the show.
Yeah, it's that time. Duh. And once again, the daylight savings is screwing me. It's screwing me up.
Hate it.
I'm fine. I've adjusted. I'm fine. I'm happy. It's lighter. I'm happy. I'm already happy.
I'm ready.
Okay. It's Snow White week. We are here. We've been waiting for this for 3 years. Okay. This movie has been delayed. It was supposed to come out in 23. End of 22, maybe 23. Here we are, 2025. It's finally here, and it's going to be a disaster. But what I want to do is I want to remind us how we got here. Okay? I want to remind us, how did we get here? How did we come to the point where Rachel Mazegler is the most hated person in the world? Because that's a fair thing to say. She is literally hated by everybody, unless you're a weirdo Zeglian. And we're going to look at them. They, as I said earlier in the stream, they have come out of the woodworks right now. Okay. Suddenly they reappeared. And I have confirmation because Dermy likes to watch this. He likes to keep track of it. He says that he followed a couple of them when he was trying to get blocked by her. They've been dormant for months. The Zeglians, their social media presence, they haven't said anything, nothing. And suddenly in the past 72 hours, woo, So much activity.
I'm telling you, the marketing budget kicked back in for the film.
You're probably not wrong, because I have a couple of points on that as well, as I trolled. But it all began when we're not going to go through her whole career thing. We're going to start with Snow White.
Ugh.
It was D23. It's the moment of the weird. It's the moment of that where she started to say stuff that alert. Now, we already were going to say this thing's going to be dog shit. She's not going to be able to properly be a beautiful princess. She's not a good actress. And I'm going to say this because a lot of people say it. She cannot sing. She cannot sing. And I say this when I compare her to the likes of the still living and may she continue to live, Julie Andrews. The likes of who truly was a goddess of her time, multi-talented Julie Andrews, who did stage and screen like this little twit is going to try and do now.
Is she really going to stage?
Yes, that's part of the news. At the here. She's going, yes, we're going to get to
Please have her do Shakespeare. I want her to stand up there and do Taming of the Shrew. I need to see her do Taming of the Shrew.
So obviously you missed it. So I'm gonna surprise you with what her next project is. So the likes of Julie Andrews, who really could do it all. She's one of my favorites. Some of my near 10 out of 10 movies. Because I have like 2 10 out of 10 movies. Jen already covered one on Drive-In. Some of my near 10 out of 10s are Julie Andrews movies. Because she's just a goddess in terms of her performance. And yes, you're exactly right, Jerry Fraser. That is the definition of a woman. A wonderful woman. Beautiful woman.
She'd make a great Athena too.
I love Julie Andrews, one of my favorite performers of all time. We're going to do Sound of Music soon. I want to do that soon because I love it.
I'm down. Sound of Music is great.
Fantastic movie. I want to see the reaction when we do Victor Victoria from the people. It's like, oh my God, how could they like a movie about gay people? Because it's a fun movie and it's a wonderful movie.
I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, a woman pretending to be a man pretending to be a woman. In 1933 France.
All right, that sounds hilarious. That doesn't sound like a political statement or anything.
Julie Andrews, James Garner, John Rhys Davies. Great movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. And some of my favorite Julie Andrews performances. So we're gonna get tangented. We're gonna get tangented. So I don't want to go off. The point is, people want to say that she can sing. That she can't sing. She can't sing. So we got the news she's going to be Snow White. We're also going to be bad. And then the interviews again. So we'll start with this. And these are minor clips. It's not the whole thing. These are the clips I've been saving and collecting that I keep on file for these moments. And here we are. Remember this.
It's no longer 1937. And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Okay, so this was the moment. This came out. This is the D23 Expo, and it was a disaster. And I want to remark right now, because we're going to come back to this, look at how she's perfectly happy talking to Gal Gadot here. No problems.
Oh, because
no problems.
It wasn't politically advantageous for her to hate Gal Gadot's ancestry.
Yeah, exactly.
Or nationality.
Look, they can look each other in the eye. We can go to this one over here. This interview throughout the whole thing, they're interacting with each other. But she'll say stuff like this.
You didn't switch over.
I didn't switch over. You're right. I forgot. It's not a tab thing. It's the window share thing. Thank you. I forgot. I automatically just switched my tab. My bad. Point is,
if you switch tab, there's a button at the top that says share this screen instead.
Oh, look at that. Thank you, Jed.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Jed. I've never.
Look at my Israel queen.
Yeah. So here's this one.
Just don't let her talk.
So special.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
Oh!
So you weren't a fan.
So you weren't a fan, even though there were repeated articles of her interview saying, I love Snow White. It's so important to me. But you you said here you hated it because it scared you. So these interviews were they were the parts that showed us that she didn't give a shit. But then we get these ones here. This one here, this one.
It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
Oh, actually, 2025.
Whoops.
But whoops. Because they had to do reshoots. They had to do reshoots. Because there were problems. Because the backlash started. Backlash brought on from comments like this right here.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Oh, no.
That was very bitchy.
Yes. Very CUNTY next Tuesday. Very, 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 very that to behave. Okay, then this was the impression she gave people.
Well, I just want to say, I think the people who wear that same iconic Disney dress at the Disney parks, they have a much better argument for being paid fairly because they get shafted at Disney. Well, pretty much all the mascot dress-up people in all the parks, they get paid minimum wage, if that. So, yeah, it was the actress from Disney World saying that. I'd be like, all right, you should be paid more. You're in a suit in the hot Florida sun for 8 hours a day.
And pawed at by kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's a much harder job than Rachel. Rachel got pampered for a couple months and had to, remember her lines. Oh my God, it's so hard. And had to wear a perfectly fitted dress.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Weird.
That's the weird part after that. So these were the major things that dropped of these interviews. And there are a few more here and there, but these are the big ones that launched 1,000 memes. These are the ones that launched 1,000 memes. And this is the impression that we got of her out of that. Now, we already had a bad impression of her from other stuff, but this made it so that nobody was going to buy into this. So now here comes the problems. Let's go back in time to the trailers. I got the trailers up here. All right.
Oh no.
No, we're not watching them. Don't worry, we're not watching them. We're not watching them. I'm just I'm having them up so that we can look at the real time like to dislike ratio because it built over time. And this is why Disney delayed these trailer drops. Okay, they delayed them forever. Why? Because the first one they dropped 7 months ago, 1.5 million dislikes. Probably more because it's the approximation to only 102,000 upvotes with 11 million views. That's terrible. That's just terrible.
Yeah, that's rough.
Next one they launched just 3 months ago, 1.6 million downvotes.
That's deep.
To 55,000 upvotes. And one from just a few days ago, 176K downvote to 6.9. Oh, I'm sorry, a month ago. Sorry, it's a month ago. And I mean, at this point, this was just like a little thing, but the recent stuff they've released on social media have been savaged on other social media platforms. So this is the reaction you get. And we could read through the comments. They're probably hilarious, but that would be going down a rabbit hole of probably humor we could have, but we're already going to go over time as it is. So the trailers were a disaster. Okay. And then, as we mentioned, she went and did her Broadway play. Okay. Zegler went and did a Broadway play, Romeo and Juliet, last year. Anybody know about
I'd memory hold that.
Yeah, it was like sort of on Broadway. Doesn't matter, but no, they claim it was hot, but nobody talked about it. Only the Zeglins. So that was failed. But during that, this happened. Remember this. I love you so much. It's after the trailer, after the horrible trailer, which she doesn't understand everybody was making fun of. She said 120 million views on our trailer. We're so happy. That was the one they put up on X first. But then always remember, Free Palestine. So we're at this point, guys. Do you think Disney thought about pulling the plug at this point? Completely.
I don't think at this point. This was really early on, and politically, Disney aligns with this position and positions like it, so I don't think they were too concerned about it initially. It's only when it started to snowball that they got concerned. So I think this was too early in the process for them to be overly concerned. I'm sure they went, hey, probably shouldn't say that. We agree with you, but tone it down a little bit next time.
At this point, do you think they thought, I mean, Dre, do you think at this point they said, you know what, maybe let's not do theaters, let's just put this on Disney Plus and forget about it?
So, like, in my personal opinion, I think they were in too deep already, and they just couldn't pull the plug. I strongly believe that if they could have, they would have been through this on Disney Plus if they didn't commit so heavily early on and engage in all this support for certain ideologies and certain groups. I really think they would have been through this on Disney Plus, and then more than likely would have just straight up took that joint off and get a tax write-off, honestly.
Well, they can't. They already they were way beyond the back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're in way too deep already at this point. What's this? August 12th, 2024?
This is August last year.
They're in too deep. If this was maybe another year earlier, maybe they would have pulled the plug. But they've already, pretty much handcuffed themselves to this hooker, and they're going down. So it's like it's hard. It was just too late. And I think like people that have half a brain that is there was probably thinking like, yo, man, we really got to get out of this, but it's just too late.
Well, that's the thing now. There's an article. Let me see. Do I have the article here up? They don't know what to do with her. Here we are. This is the present now. We're going to jump to the present.
Oh, I know what to do.
Oh,
fire her.
We're going to go past we're going to go past the disastrous Oscars where they put them both out on stage. The disastrous D23 from this year where they couldn't put them, where it was clear there was a problem. They wouldn't even look each other in the eye. They knew they had a problem. They knew they had a problem where now we know. Just this week we learned, after the previews we learned, that they canceled the UK premiere because afraid of anti-woke protest bullshit.
No, they come up for her butt cheeks.
Yeah, because here it's not, because you know what the anti-woke protest is? This right here. We sit in our studios, in our rooms, in our homes, and we talk to people online. We're not actually gonna walk our dumbasses out there and stand out there just to go, we hate you, you bitch. We're not gonna do that.
Well, they expect us to because that's what they would do.
Thank you. Thank you. That is their behavior. That is the commie Marxist. We're going to go out and protest your ass and have a summer of love moment. That's their line of thinking. We don't behave like that because, frankly, we'd rather sit in our nice air-conditioned rooms where we can get up and move around with or without pants on and have comfort. We don't want to go out there just to heckle Rachel Zegler when we can get a better reaction by heckling her online. So much so that after this moment right here, she retreated to Instagram. She hasn't been on X in forever. So much so that when she had her post-election meltdown, I didn't get those up because that would take us down a different tangent. I'm just going to reference them. When she had her post-election meltdown, that was on Instagram only. And it took others to copy, cut, and paste and put it over here for people like me who don't go near Instagram to use that content to talk about it. And right after that, within days, she wasn't even her. Somebody else probably wrote it and just put it on her Instagram, the corporate apology response. So right here, so they have not known, not that one. They haven't known what to do with her at all. Because she is a bitch that must be muzzled and kenneled at all times. Because they cannot control her when she's on off-the-cuff conversation because she will be what she always has been, an activist. Has she ever been anything but an activist, guys?
A child?
I hate her face. And it's actually funny. Maybe it has to be a year ago. Me and my cousins were we were playing what were we playing? Playing something online. I think it was probably Battlefront or something. And when we get together, we put our headsets on and say unspeakable things to each other, and the usual, the way we used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
And we came to a conclusion that Rachel Zegler, and this is the synopsis that I made.
Okay.
She needs to consume my penis, plain and simple, from start to finish. She needs to be taught a terrible lesson, and that's what needs to be done.
What?
Plain and simple. And it's all said and done. It's going to change her entire outlook on life. Everything that she thought was real is not. All of it is done. This is the type of broad we're dealing with. There's no talking her out of anything. There's no teaching her out of anything. Full on in and like what was it? Banana what was that? The Long Way, Adam, that you performed the other day?
All right.
That's plain.
Is she doing this willingly?
Of course she is.
Okay.
Yes. Now, Dre, you need to understand, you just took the same position Dermy's taken.
But he's right. And I don't say that about Dermy. Okay? Dermy's right. You can clip that. Dermy's right. Because this is the type of person that she is. We all know in our lives certain individuals that you cannot communicate with, that don't understand, they don't get the point. They always think they're right. They always think they're the good guy, no matter everybody pointing towards the villainous action that they've engaged in. The only thing that they understand is pinnacle in the orifice. That is it. That is all. And when that finally happens, all this comes crashing to an end.
Dermy's terminology was she needs to be anger banged, hate effed. That's Dermy's terminology. Listen, I find her repulsive on every level. There is no amount of blue pills that could get me in the mood for her.
I won't even argue against that. She is what used to be anti-erection spray, 110%. She is, but that's the only thing that she would understand. And God, my God, Dermy is right. He's right. It's the only thing that can fix this lady. That's it. Because there's nothing else that she will understand, comprehend. Everybody and their mama understands that this girl is at the point of no return. Yeah. Period. The studio knows it. Her mama probably knows it. Everybody knows it. And that's the only solution that's left. That's it.
But all that aside, that problem's never going to be solved.
Yeah.
Because
agreed.
It's because she is she is somebody who's been told her whole life that she's special, that she's a snowflake, that she has talent. No one ever told her that you suck. You're not good at what you do. And that's why she's the epitome of the participation trophy generation, who never got told you're not good enough. Go find what you're good at. Because she's not good at this stuff. She is box office poison. And that's why she doesn't care, because she's an activist first. So that's why when you say she gets angry when she's told a couple days ago, somebody says, can we get a better soprano? She says, can we get somebody who's soprano? She says, I am a soprano. Now, I would need to go to my mom, who understands the different types of voices, because I don't know that stuff.
She's a soprano, not a good one, but she's a soprano.
Well, she's not a good one.
Yeah, she's definitely not an alto.
Yeah. I will say this again. People say she can sing. No, she cannot. I tell you.
Haley Bailey or whatever, Little Mermaid can sing better.
Yeah, and she still needs auto-tune to do it. I mean, you go listen to Julie Andrews. Go listen to movies with Jane Powell. Those are, Jane Powell, tiny little Jane Powell, Seven Brides, Seven Brothers. If you want a good reference, a tiny little body with a powerful voice. Now, my mom does one of my favorite movies is a movie called Luxury Liner, where she tries to sing in an operatic voice that she can't handle, according to my mom. She barely gets it, but still, Janie Powell could sing. She could get on stage and sing with Fred Astaire. That's how much she could dance.
You like Fred Astaire?
To keep up with Fred Astaire on the stage. That's the kind of performance Janie Powell could do. Go back and look at those are true talents. This is not. So when I say she can't sing, go listen to real women who could sing and compare to that. She cannot sing. She's not a good singer. But that's what they had her doing lately. That's where we are in the present. This marketing is such a meltdown that they have Gal Gadot doing all the press tour here in the U.S. and they send old Rachel off to bumblefuck around the world.
Yeah,
sing and dance, and to also put on fake promotional stuff. This is my favorite one. So she was in Spain the other day, singing in front of the castle that inspired Snow White's castle, and here was part of the promotional stuff right here. Now, I'm just going to look at this right here. These little girls look so enthused, don't they? In their dresses that don't fit because they clearly didn't come there wearing them for cosplay. And one person says right here, this is the movie. This is who the movie is made for. To my reply, little girls paid to be a part of a photo op. This is a paid photo op. These little girls,
they look bored. I'm sorry, they look bored. They look like they don't want to be there with her at all.
This is the only one who understood her job. I'm gonna be a troll and sit.
That's right. Throw up the goofy.
I didn't notice that when you posted that in.
This is paid. These little girls are not here because they like Rachel Zegler or they like her Snow White movie. They were handed these dresses in line, said, "Here, little Spaniard girls, go stand next to this little Latino girl who started bleaching her skin, even though she said she'd never bleach her skin. She's been bleaching heavy. Look at her. She's been heavy bleaching that skin. Michael Jackson bleaching right there. All right.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. Ain't her daddy Polish?
Yeah, she's a half breed.
She did look darker back in the day, though.
Like she got a white daddy. Why? Man, what? Get out of here, man. This is trash.
Yeah.
Like, and these are Spaniards, right? This is Spain.
Spaniards.
Right?
These are Spaniards. Yes.
Yeah. So, what connection does she have with them? I'm confused.
Because they sent her there to sing.
Oh.
In front of the castle, and this is just paid photo op.
Also, I'm confused. I thought it was they weren't going to have fans there, supposedly.
You're right. They had employees there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have fans there. You're right.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Like, hang on a minute. I thought they said they weren't going to have anyone interacting with her in case she shoots her mouth off.
Well, that's the thing. The what's coming up now is the current. Do I have it here? Here it is. The scaled back premiere. It's not a real red carpet premiere. No actual, even shill media will be present. It's in-house Disney people. That's it. That's it. They're so afraid. They're so afraid of anything she will say in these final moments, these final 4 days, that they have canceled the real premiere. This is unheard of. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this?
Never.
Not counting pandemic bullshit. Not counting that.
Yeah, not counting the pandemic. No, I've never seen or heard of anything like this before. Especially of canceling of premieres of a major. This is Snow White we're talking about here. You know what I mean? Like this is a big deal, and the fact they're just painting or they're still trying to protect this broad at the same time. Like, oh, it's the anti people, the people that don't believe in whatever it is that she stands for. It's got nothing to do with that. The reason why they're canceling it is because they got to save their freaking money and don't have to trot this girl out sooner than she has to.
This thing is tracking under 50 million right now.
That's insane
for the domestic premiere.
That's gonna be so bad.
Oh, we're gonna be all over it this week. I mean, we're gonna be.
What's
all
the
over
break even that we're going for? I think
we
I
don't
remember
know the
something
budget.
about 500.
No one even knows the budget, but it's got to be 350, 300, 350.
The original budget before the reshoots was 220 or 250.
It's got to be.
Oh, was that? Yeah, so 350.
So it's over 300. Well, I want to say at least 350.
That's what I'm going with. I'm saying that the real budget is between $325 to $350 million. That's and not including the adverts. I'm talking
it's
about
been
just
heavy
this
marketing.
movie.
They have,
Yeah.
So what, a 900 million break even?
That's
Probably.
what I'm staring down the barrel of.
Yeah, because the marketing's easily been 100 million.
Oh yeah,
Easy.
it's been massive.
100%.
Up until now.
Yeah. So it's going to need almost $1 billion to break even, and this thing's
I
not
agree.
going to. We'll put our predictions at the end of the segment here, but this is it now. They have run the course. They've run the course. I showed you the history of how we got here with her behavior, her attitude, the things she says. She can't get along with Gal Gadot, who by all reasonings is someone very easy to get along with. Who's not a difficult person to deal with. Okay? Not difficult at all. Just the other day, though, as we near this, out of nowhere, a random announcement, complete random announcement, Jed and Dragon Lady, we might have to send you, you might have to take one for the team to go and see this, okay? Because it's in London. It's in London's theater.
Oh, I'm
I don't care. I don't care. You're going. I don't care. You're going. I don't care.
We got to ship her over there, just like.
No,
right,
not with her.
She's going to be Evita. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
No.
Where's Madonna?
Now we're cooking.
Should I not be asking that question?
So I chose this one because it showed it, but this is also the example. It gets announced, and here are the stands. Rachel Zegler's film debut as Maria at age 18. Broadway debut as Juliet in 23. And West End debut as Evita in 24. All iconic roles, a true testament to her potential considering she arrived in this industry at 17 with no industry connections, and she's still only 23. You know what this is, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is full retreat.
Absolutely.
This is failed actress retreating to stage with a play nobody gives a shit about Evita.
I'm glad you said that because I have no idea what it is.
It's a musical version of a president of Argentina's life from the 50s.
It's a commie playing a commie playing a commie. Okay, that's what this is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so the lady herself was around in the 50s. The musical's been around since around about the 70s.
But at this point in 2025, nobody cares about Evita. So to be cast in this role, to belt out songs that even Madonna didn't really make interesting, this is bad. But the stands, look at this. Here we go. Let's go through it. Shining supernova is exactly how Rachel referred to, because here's Rachel Zegler's a shining supernova in Snow White. Isn't a supernova a thing of destruction?
Yes,
It's a death. It's a death of a star.
They don't understand. And this isn't somebody being sarcastic. This is a Zegler stand right here. They don't understand. A supernova is a destructive force that literally wipes out all life in a solar system.
And it shines brightly for a little bit before disappearing.
Yeah.
So yeah, her stardom rose at 17 for no reason whatsoever, and then a few years later, she disappears into obscurity, leaving destruction in her wake. That's actually a very apt description.
It's literally exactly what's happening.
So yeah, kudos to them.
She's taking over the world. No, she's been rejected by the world.
By everyone.
They're trying to spin this like this is some sort of epic thing. Rachel Zegler just wrapped in a sold-out Broadway run last month. Nobody sold out to what a small theater? It doesn't count. Is headlining a major motion picture this month, a motion picture that's going to cost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not going to make. And starts the West End rehearsals on iconic stage musical next month. Is Evita really iconic? Is it?
About 30 years ago.
Is it? While trolls continue to troll, she just keeps working and winning. I don't see the winning anywhere. Do we see the winning anywhere?
Last I checked, she doesn't have anything after Snow White, to the best of my knowledge.
This is it. No, this is after Snow White. That's what I said. This is a retreat. She
Yeah,
has
nothing
no
theatrical.
No, I meant as in film wise. That's
But
theater.
that's my point. That is my
All right,
point.
sorry.
She doesn't have any acting roles because no one will cast her because she's box office poison. So she's retreating to the stage.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's retreating to real stage, like Jez said. She's not retreating to Shakespeare. And it's not, and I made this reference the other night on Ballbusters. This isn't the same as a venerable actor like Sir Ian McKellen going back to the stage in his final years, or when Patrick Stewart was at his height going to the stage, or any other classically trained actor or actress going to the stage to perform anything, or ones that went to Broadway to make shows famous back in the 80s and the 90s and 2000s. That isn't this. This is a failed actress retreating to stage to do a play that nobody gives a shit about. And I don't know how important the West End, what is it called? The West End Palladium is. I don't know how famous that is, if that's a really big deal in London.
That's very well known over here in the UK.
Big deal?
Yeah, it's a really big deal. It's a really big theatre. I've only seen it in passing. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think I've ever been there. I've only ever been in some of the West End theaters, and I can't remember for the life of me what they are now.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say that she can't get anything in the US because nobody wants her.
That's fair.
Nobody wants her. Nobody wants her. And then we got
You
this
can have
here.
her.
She will be among the highest paid stars in London stage this season. How it should be. Yeah, sure. You're gonna pay her and probably lose money. Congratulations. And I got one more here, I think. I already showed that one. I think that's all of them. Yeah, basically that's all of it. So that's just a smattering. I've seen so many in passing of this. So in the end, here is where we are. This nothing, this nobody, this misguide of a creature thinks she's the big deal, thinks she is the cat's goddamn meow. She has a tiny little Zeglian fan base that thinks they are worshiping a goddess. It's more of this weird promoting of these starlets who have no standing whatsoever, who don't really have a masterful talent of anything. They're just picked and chosen because of how they look or what they say. That's who she is. That's what she is. It's failure. It's failure. And this is the end of her. I don't think we ever see her in a real movie again after this.
No.
Nor should we.
Because there is no redemption for her. This isn't like the Brie Larson redemption where, honestly, all the shit that Brie Larson said, that's tame compared to what this dumb cow has said. That's tame. That's nothing. And Brie Larson got a freaking clue. She got a clue and she just vanished from doing stupid interviews. She got a good publicist, a good agent, and said, you know what? Shut up. Shut up. Show the titties, put on the cleavage. Shut up. Just disappear. Do silly shit at premieres with Jason Momoa and then shut up. And she did. And look now. Do we say anything about Brie Larson?
Nope.
Nope. If you don't give us ammunition, we got nothing to say because in the end, we don't really care unless you make us care by behaving like an absolute monster of a human being, which is what Rachel Zegler is. So now I'm going to, Ryan, fix Brie. Yeah. I'm going to pose two questions to you guys as we round this out now. One, once Thursday passes and all contracts are over, premieres happened, she is no longer under Disney contract. In the coming week to weeks, do we get a Zegler meltdown?
Yes.
I think it's guaranteed at this point that she is uncontrollable.
Okay. She will.
And this meltdown, it might be biblical. This might be biblical.
I hope it is. I'm gonna pray like the people prayed for good Daredevil. I want her to have such a meltdown that I can make content for a couple of days on it.
Yeah. It's gonna be catastrophic, especially when this joint bombs. This will be her breaking point. And then of course she's gonna yell and scream at everybody's member of a certain 3-letter alphabet community that wears pointy hats and all that other nonsense. like she's gonna lose her freaking skull, and I'm hoping that like it's live where it's where there was no script to begin with.
You want it recorded. You don't want an Instagram post. You want clips. You want.
I want somebody like, hey, Rachel, how do you feel about your film being hot garbage? Well, the thing is my daddy is Polish, and I ignore that because I'm a sexy Latina, and they're not ready for a strong Latina, and I think I hate life, and like that's what I want. That's what I want. That's the type of
I would love it.
Full on meltdown I want because she
I
needs
want
to go.
tears.
She needs to go. I want tears.
You want they'd be crocodile tears.
Oh yeah, they would be, but it would be really funny. A little bit of screaming.
Oh yeah. I don't think we'd get screaming. It would be like bitch screaming. How dare these toxic men hate my movie? That kind of shit. All right, second question. Let's talk box office prediction. I'll go first. This thing don't break 200 million.
Worldwide?
Worldwide. At best, 250 at best, because I don't think the world shows up for this. If America only shows up for 50, less than 50 million premiere, it only goes down from there. I don't think it breaks 100 million domestic. All right, you know what? Let me phrase that. Okay, it won't break 100 million domestic. Caps out between 250 and 300 million.
For total. For worldwide total.
Worldwide gross. Worldwide gross. 250 to 300. Because there's going to be no domestic for this.
Yes. That's a very good question. Because we already okay, let's just get a couple things out of the way. We know this film doesn't make money. We already know that already.
Yeah.
So this is what I will say. I think worldwide. Oh man, this is bad. I'm gonna say 275.
Okay.
Worldwide, but I'm predicting that the domestic will be higher than the international by maybe 10 to 15 million.
Interesting.
That's my guess.
You think
That's
that the international is really going to bail on this? Wow.
Yeah, based primarily on the fact that there might be that initial burst of people that just because the name is Snow White and they're like, hey, this is a weekend I can just take my kids to just be able to get some time to just have their eyes glued to a screen. That's why I'm basing that number off strictly, is because of the parents that want to distract their kids for a minute. That's my.
They're still predicting a sub 50 million opening weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So all right, Jed.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going out on a limb here. I think it's going to do slightly better than predictions. I'm going to say between 300 and 350. I think it's going to do a little bit better than we think, just because there's going to be a lot of people like us who go watch it to hate on it. Because like we've seen with the trailers get impressive views on top of their awful like to dislike ratios. There will be people watching it at a sadistic enjoyment for the opening weekend on top of the people who are normies and don't know what's going on. Just like, hey, there's a Snow White movie. I can distract my kids for a few hours, like Dre said. I think there's going to be a combination of a few different factors that get above the predictions. I think the predictions are low for that domestic view. So I'm going to say 300.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I try to take one. Dragon Lady, you want to?
I'm going to go to the theater, so they're going to get my money.
Dragon Lady, you want to take a guess? You don't have
less than 200. 200 million. I would assume, given everyone's reactions to this, and even normies, and especially families with kids, from what I'm seeing and hearing, have absolutely no interest in this film whenever they've seen the trailers. So I think it's going to be very, very low. Not that low, but lower than 200 million.
Wow. You see, even I adjusted that when I thought about it, because it'll be, I don't think it breaks 100 million domestic, but I still think it could get 150 million worldwide. I still think it could get that. But okay. Well,
well, it loses hand over fist with all of our predictions.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing: it has no competition this week. There's no competition in the theaters this week, is there?
There's no competition because it was just announced that Mickey 17 is going to digital platforms already.
Really?
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's going to have a total of 18 days in cinemas. It made $5 million this week as well, domestically.
Yeah, egg on my face on my original prediction that'd be okay, but that's before I knew what it was. I mean, I was just making a prediction based on generalizations. All right, so we'll be back next weekend with our box office take because we'll have our Sunday privilege. We will be able to show you the Thursday to Sunday take for Snow White, and you can catch hopefully my review for Snow White early Friday. I'm going to attempt to get it out as quickly as possible so that I can get ahead of the bigger shows and bigger channels, at least in our sphere. But then we just sit back and watch and see and enjoy. For now, we're done. End of the show. Let's go around the horn. Sarah, farewells, and enjoy the rest of our afternoons. Jed, what you got?
Well, just real quick, I want to share this news because Adam will love that this is happening. It's just a quick quote. So Russell T Davies won an award at Gadio Pride this week. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Yeah, he won a Gadio Pride Icon Award.
Sounds gay.
And you're going to love the metaphor he used. He said, I think times are darkening beyond all measure and beyond anything I've seen in my lifetime. The threat from America is like something out of the Lord of the Rings. It's the evil rising in the West.
Whoa, what are we aiming our nukes at England?
People think we're going to invade Canada this week.
Dude, Canada will bend over and take it.
Oh, they would. Oh, yes, they would.
Greenland's basically saying, yes, annex us. Good Lord. Oh, my.
I knew that would get a quick reaction out of you. Not worth talking about, but yeah, it's a funny quote. Lord of the Rings metaphors for America.
Oh.
Didn't expect that.
What are we, Sauron? What are we, Mordor?
I was hoping we'd be Gondor. That's a better analogy,
We are
I think.
Gondor. Anyway, all right.
All right, but for this week, I actually have stuff that I'm going to be doing. This Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be wading in to the blood of Japan. I will be playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. George Floyd will rise again.
Yeah, I have been privy to what the thumbnails he wanted to put out are.
They're too bad. They're too bad. I would die. Like, people would show up at my house and murder me for the thumbnails I was thinking. I have one that I think I'm actually going to go with, but I actually need Adam's help for that. I'm going to surprise people with that. I think it's YouTube safe, but it's not photoshopping my face on a certain cop, so I think YouTube's going to be okay with it.
Yeah, you put my head on the top. That's what you're going to do. All right, so Assassin's Creed. I mean, that's the other news we're going to get to talk about now. We're going to get Assassin's Creed Shadows is here this week. There's no prep time for that. There's nothing more to talk about until it happens. That's why we didn't talk about it today. But that's happening. So that we're going to get to watch the last gasp of Ubisoft. What we're going to get.
Hope it dies.
They've been. I heard they were striking people this week for content.
Yeah, they're really trying to keep people quiet about it. Of course, there's the stands who played it early. Who's like, it's the best one ever.
Yeah, whatever. Dre.
So that's whatever. Yeah, so this week, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Real Playing Comics YouTube channel, got a brand new creator on that's releasing their first, this sequel to their first run. It's actually going to be a very, very good interview that we did. So that would definitely be able to check that out, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're less than 3 weeks away from my appearance at AwesomeCon. So for those that are still that might be in the DC area during that time period, definitely come see me. I'd love to see everybody, shake hands and kiss babies. So that would be freaking fantastic. So as we get closer, I will definitely be reminding everybody and all the great stuff that we have coming up.
Okay, Dragon Lady.
I will be simming at some point this week, and also if I remember, will be posting in my written review for Gladiator 2, which I finally managed to get around to watching yesterday.
Yeah, sure, that was fun.
Depends on the scene, I think it was.
Okay, as for me, tonight I'll be doing my regular recording of Wormhole Watch with Duke Devil, Bradley Burnett, Fraction Filtered, and Jay Hitman, which will be reposted on Brad's channel every Wednesday, edited down. So we're just enjoying DS9. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Then tomorrow is Mellow Mondays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. where we will get up to our normal retardation there. Rest of the week, it's catch as catch can until Snow White. I am not playing Assassin's Creed. I'm playing Suikoden, something that's actually good. So we'll get gaming games throughout the week. And Jed, what do we got for an early edition of Drive-In next Saturday?
So, yep, this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on both my channel and Adam's channel for Drive-In, we are talking the adaptation of the classic sci-fi novel from 2005, the adaptation, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with Martin Freeman.
Hey, I like that movie.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Neither of us seen it in so long that I don't know what I think about it. I watched it as a kid.
I mean, like, it's dumb, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy it.
Anyway, all right, so we'll be doing that, and then we'll be right back here for another round table, and we'll be gone the next week, but we'll remind everybody of the schedule. The schedule could be a little choppy in the next couple of weeks after this, but we'll let everybody know what's going on. So once again, thank you one and all for joining us this afternoon. We hope you had a good time. You can hit those like buttons. You can subscribe to the channels in the description below, and you can keep on supporting us because we appreciate each and every one of you, because without you, we don't get to do this. So thank you, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Until then, take it easy.